This Edge Radio coverage of the Hobart Hurricanes KFC Big Bash League match is brought to you with the assistance of Blunston and Cricket Tasmania.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Blunston Arena here on Edge Radio 99.3 FM for this crucial Big Bash League match between the Hobart Hurricanes and the Brisbane Heat. The equation is simple. The winner of this match is in the finals and will take on the Melbourne Stars at the MCG on Tuesday week. Got a lot to talk about in a very short amount of time because the game is only minutes away from starting. I can tell you straight away that the Hobart Hurricanes have won the toss and they have elected to bat, and they are going into this game with one change. Ben Hilfenhaus has been rested, well, not rested, he's a 12th man, and has been replaced by Evan Gulbis. The Brisbane Heat go in unchanged from the side that defeated the Adelaide Strikers last Saturday. We've got a big game and a big crew here with us here on Edge Radio. Once again, I will introduce, first of all, as the young boys come out on the field to get ready to welcome the players, I'll introduce a lady next to me here on the expert bench, none other than the captain of Australian one-day side, sister, George Bailey, Katie Bailey. Katie, welcome back to Edge Radio.
Thank you. Great to be back.
Great to have you here. Also joining me is a man with all the stats, a man with over 4,000 followers on Twitter, I will say, Mr. Rick Finlay. Rick, welcome back.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, it's great to be here. Just approaching 18 degrees here on a beautiful Hobart evening. You couldn't ask for better conditions.
Absolutely. Low cloud cover. It's looking absolutely spectacular. And also on the boundary, as he was the other week for the game against the Thunder, it's the man with the hat, and I'm sure the man who has put makeup on because he's had a bit of a TV appearance the other time, was Mr. Rod Hunt. Rod, welcome back to Edge Radio and our coverage of the Big Bash.
Good evening, Ben. Welcome to you and have a great call.
Thank you very much. Now, just quickly going through the lineup for each side here. Tim Payne, the captain and wicketkeeper for the Hurricanes. Aidan Blizzard, Travis Burt, Doug Bollinger, Cameron Boyce, Ben Dunk, Evan Gulbis, of course, as I said, in for Ben Hilfenhaus, Benny Lachlan, Shoaib Malik, Dimitri Mascarenhas, Jonathan Wells, with Ben Hilfenhaus, the 12th man. And for the Brisbane Heat, very strong lineup. The reigning champions, of course, captain James Hopes, the wicketkeeper Craig Kieswetter, Luke Pommersbach, Joe Burns, Chris Lynn, Ben McDermott, Ben Cassie, Daniel Vittori, Ryan Harris, Cameron Gannon, and Mark Sticchetti. Now, Katie, what do you think of the teams here tonight? Very strong Brisbane lineup, and what do you think of Hobart's lineup?
Look, it is a very strong Brisbane lineup. As you read through that, there's some names there that make me cringe a little bit. I've seen a couple of them. Look, some very good bowlers, but also seen a couple of them really tee off previously. So, look, it is a good team, but I do think the Hurricanes have the ability to get a win here and go into the finals. I think there's some fairly important players for the Hurricanes. I think, as we've seen, I think spin bowlers will play a really big part in this game. We've seen it at all levels of 2020. So I think Malik will be very important for the Hurricanes. I hope Travis Burt has a big game. Would love him to really see the ball and see what he can do there, because I think if he has a good game, especially batting first, it'll set the Hurricanes up for us. And I think Payne obviously has a lot of ability with the bat, but we've seen the Hurricanes be in good positions and probably should have won a few more games than they have. So I think there's a big role for Payne to play here, not just as a batsman, but to really push his team as captain here, and hopefully they've got the belief that they can get a win here. As you say, a win straight into the finals to meet the Stars. So it's a huge game. Exactly the same situation these two sides found themselves in last year. Right here at Blunston Arena, the winner goes to Melbourne. Of course, last year, Brisbane won that match, went to Melbourne to face the Renegades at that stage, defeated the Renegades, and then went on to beat Perth in the final. Brisbane running out onto the field now as we are now getting very close to match start. With Adelaide losing last night, there is no mathematical equations. We don't need to work out. We don't need to have Rick on the calculator and working out net run rates and everything else in between. So it's a simple winner into the finals, loser is out. Now, I will say that as per last time here on Edge Radio, we do have two fantastic Blunston prize packs, as the Hurricanes get a massive cheer as the opening batsmen come out onto the pitch. Rod, do we have Payne and Dunk again?
Ben Dunk leading the way out. He looked very focused in.
certainly going to be interesting to see how they come and play out there as a fireworks go around them. As mentioned, the prize packs once again, $200 worth of value from Blunston, and we will be giving away one of those at each innings. All you need to do to go into the draw of those is either text us in 0427 334 336, or if you are on Twitter and social media, you can use hashtag EdgeBBL, and we're manning the Twitter feed. Most interesting tweet and the most interesting text message will win a prize pack, and we will draw that at the end of the game. We're about 10 seconds away from starting here, Rick. It's getting pretty exciting.
Yes, the Brisbane Heat feel quite comfortable, I think, about this match. They've only played here once before and they won that. Last season they chased down 150, getting the runs in 14 overs, so in the 15th over. So they would feel very comfortable about being here again tonight.
Indeed they would, and of course Hobart did beat Brisbane in the other game earlier this year. Hobart knocking over 210 runs. They had to get 209, chase that successfully in what was a record chase. Now we have Brisbane opening the bowling here from the river end, as both Hurricanes batters have a bit of a conversation. Duncan Payne just looking around the field and seeing where the gaps are. Of course, power play is in effect for the first 6 overs, so only a limited number of fielders are allowed outside the circle, and a very long boundary this time out towards the hill as well, so sixes might not be as easy to come by here unless they can hit a big one right onto the hill. A very packed hill, I will say. Lots of purple out here. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, you're right, Does. It looks like the pitch is a little more, it's closer to the construction site, so we might hopefully see a few more balls go that way.
And Ben Dunk will face the first delivery here for the innings, and he just gets that one onto the long side, and it's the leg side, and it's a quick single there for the Hurricanes. And I think a round of applause goes around the crowd here. No first ball wickets for the Hurricanes like against the Stars the other night, because Tim Payne fell for the first ball there. And just the crowd here is absolutely packed. It was a sellout. Only general admission tickets were available heading into this game. And Hobart, the only night game we have all season for the Big Bash League 03. Of course, we've had all day games here in Hobart. So Hobart definitely out here in force. As Harris now comes in to bowl. Payne, who gets that onto the offside just behind him there. Call for a single, but Dunk says no, fielded. And no run taken there.
It's a sure way to test the batsman, isn't it? Facing up to Rhino Harris. He'll be pretty quick out there, I think.
Looking very dangerous early on. Currently the Hurricanes none for one after 2 deliveries here. Tim Payne facing Ryan Harris, who's bowling from the river end, and he comes in and bowls now, and Payne gets that onto the leg side, finds a gap between the fielder. They'll look for 2 here. They'll get 2, and it's fielded just inside the rope in front of the hill. Great running there by the Hurricanes, moves them for none for 3. It's great to hear those thunder sticks early on, Katie.
It is. Look, that crowd looks like they're here for a great game, which I'm sure it will be. The hill really is. It's alive, isn't it? So hopefully they can support their home team.
It's Ryan Harris. Bowls for Tim Payne, who once again gets that onto the leg side, finds another gap. They'll call for 2 here. They will easily get 2. Possibly 3 if they were quick enough. They look, they're not going to get it. The ball was returned to the wicket keeper of Keysvetter, and the Hurricanes now move none 5. Ryan Harris, as you were saying, Katie, very dangerous. Do you believe he's one of the key bowlers here for Brisbane to get them the win tonight?
There's a couple there. I think Daniel Vittori will be fairly helpful, and Captain James hopes he'll play his role as well.
As Harris now comes in to Tim Payne, who gets that one onto the offside behind the keeper, and it's fielded just on the rope. They'll call for 2, and they go for 2. It's a bit slow right there on the boundary, a slow pickup from Mark Sticchetti, and they do get a double, none for 7. Good running there between the wickets, Katie, early on.
Great aggressive running by the boys, which is, they're going to have to do that, run every, the first run as though they're expecting to go for another one. Every run's really going to count tonight.
Tim Payne moved to 6 here as we face the final delivery here from Ryan Harris of the first over, and he sweeps that one away onto the leg side over the top of the circle. They will only get 1 though, and the Hurricanes end the first over none for 8. Decent start there from Hobart.
They'll be happy with that. Didn't quite get hold of that one, Paney, but both guys just looking comfortable, which is, as we've said, against someone like Ryan Harris, if you get your eye in against him, you're going to back yourself against the rest of them. So a bit of confidence from that first over, and they'll face Vittori here, which will be testing as well. But I think a little bit of confidence from the first few overs will go a long way in this game.
Bit of early spin, the legendary New Zealand bowler Daniel Vittori, who looks mean as anything with that beard, it has to be said. He's a man who doesn't look like he's aged much over the course of the last 15 years, has to be said. And look, I think he's held up high in New Zealand, as high as the likes of Farlap and all other New Zealanders that were stolen. We call them all Australians now, so what can we say?
Long ago that he was playing Test cricket for New Zealand as a schoolboy. They pulled him out of school to play a Test match, and here he is now. I don't know, it must be 17, 18 years later, still playing his craft.
Still looks like a schoolboy.
Fantastic cricketer. Got a lot of admiration for Daniel Vittori.
It's a very unique bowling style, I think, Daniel Vittori. He just always looks ready to go, like he just always wants to bowl, as he comes in right now from the Church Street end to Tim Payne, who just cuts that one onto the leg side. No run taken, fielded, and Hurricanes remain on none for 8.
I think you've always got to admire someone who can do what he's done in a team that hasn't been high achieving as well.
Vittori comes in to Tim Payne, and that's a bit wide there, and yes, it is called a wide. I think the ball just got away from him there. Vittori spun the wrong direction, it looked like.
We've got a good view of the flight of the trajectory of the ball here, and you can see it curve. He's very skillful in doing that.
Vittori comes in from the Church Street end to Payne, who gets that one onto the leg side, and they will take a quick single. And the Hurricanes move now to none for 10. Daniel Vittori. Just the shirt, I will say, on him, like as we was talking about, started off in school. Schoolboy, plucked from there, but he still sort of has the style of the shirt, I think, Rick, that you would be confused that he still might be at school, as I was saying before.
I think the beard's a bit of a giveaway.
I've seen some young kids with beards like that. It's a bit scary now. I don't know what they put in the green vegetables these days. As Ben Dunk gets ready now to only face his second delivery of the match, faces Daniel Vittori, and call for a single there onto the leg side of this fielded and no run taken. A good delivery there by Vittori. It's all about the dot balls, obviously, early on, isn't it?
Dot balls and wickets in hand, very important, I think we've found in 2020 cricket.
Vittori quickly gets into another delivery to Dunk, who calls for a single, but just gets that one onto the leg side, fielded quickly, and another dot ball. Great bowling here by Daniel Vittori, and he's getting through this over very quickly as well. Not wanting to waste any time, as already he starts his stance and continues to bowl to Ben Dunk, who tries to advance down slightly, gets it onto the leg side. They'll call for 2. They will get 2 again, just outside the circle. Brilliant running from the Hobart Hurricanes, and move to none for 12. And no falls or sixes yet, Katie, but the running between wickets has been great. Absolutely, and I don't think there's probably any need for it yet, as we said. I think wickets in hand are very important, so... Vittori for the last ball of the over to Ben Dunk. Call for catch, not quite carrying to the fielder, just past Vittori, no run taken, and that is the end of the second over. Hobart Hurricanes in that one, none for 12, and I think Brisbane will be very pleased with that one. I think they will. I don't think there's... the Hurricanes won't be too upset either being none for 12 after 2. I mean, that's, as we've seen, that's what the spinners can come in and do so well in this 2020 game. They can really... They take the pace off the ball and they make it very difficult. All the good ones make it very difficult for the batsmen to score runs. So I don't think the Hurricanes will be expecting to go after Vittori this early. So I think they'll be happy with this. Wickets in hand later in game will be a lot more important than worrying about scoring too many runs at this stage. As Tim Payne now gets ready to have a look, as we've seen a change of bowler. Sticchetti is coming in from the river end to Tim Payne, who just cuts out behind him onto the leg side. They will take a single and move the total none for 13. Now, I think we've tried to work out Sticchetti. I'm going to say it wrong about 30,000 times. Potato, do you think, Katie? It could be like that.
I'll go with Sticchetti.
I think Sticchetti. I think we'll go like Fecketti.
Yeah, look,
the Tasmanian cricketer, I think, yeah.
I think we'll definitely follow Rick's lead, absolutely, as Ben Dunk now. Just a bit of lull as Secretary changes some of the fielding positions around, and he continues in from the river end to Ben Dunk, who just pushes that one onto the leg side in a quick single. None for 14, the Hobart Hurricanes now. Interesting, I suppose, in 2020 cricket, Katie, to sort of alternate early between the spin and the pace. Is it a changing game as 2020 develops, as people try and work out what is the best way to do this?
I think we've definitely seen 2020 develop. It's a lot more tactical now than what it was, 22 years ago.
Steckity comes in and bowls now to Payne, who comes that one onto the offside, and that is the first boundary of the innings, straight down to in front of the construction zone, and a brilliant shot by Tim Payne, who gives a bit of an answer there to Ben Dunk, moves up to none for 18. Great shot there from Tim.
Yeah, Payne looks to be in great form already. Both the boys just working the ball around, which is good to see, and then getting a ball like that and just finding a boundary just takes the pressure off for the rest of the over.
They brought third man up and put cover on the cover boundary as a response to that.
Steckity bowls once again to Tim Payne, who goes for a similar shot over the top, behind on the offside, and a brilliant boundary there. Very lucky Tim Payne, had enough height on it as the fielder just inside the circle hits the pitch. He's not happy that he missed that one. Very lucky there, Tim Payne, but another boundary, none for 22, and it looks like he's getting a bit aggressive now, Payne.
Perfect judgment, wasn't it? Might have just got a finger to it, the fieldsman. But I think 2020, when they first played, they were just almost just bashing it, where now you really see tactics come into play.
It was Joe Burns who got a fingertip to that one. A Steckity once again to Payne, who just blocks that one, gets onto the leg side in a quick single. Another great bit of running between the wickets. As a batsman, do you think that this is talked about before game, the potential to alternate between the spin and the pace, and is there a way around that, do you think, in the early power play overs?
I don't know if it's probably talked about. I think it's probably just expected now. I think definitely now the tactic is you don't let a batsman find rhythm. Obviously that's hard for a bowler as well, because it doesn't allow them to find that rhythm.
Steckity for the final ball of the third over to Ben Dunk, who gets that one onto the offside just inside the circle. A quick single and moves to none for 24. And that is the end of the third over. Good over for the Hurricanes. They are a couple of boundaries there to Tim Payne, and they'll be looking for push the total up from here on in.
They doubled the score there from 12 to 24 on that over, so taking advantage of the power play with the fielders in.
And as we often see here, taking advantage when the faster bowlers are on, as opposed to when, Vittoria will be on now, and it'll probably slow things up again, which is, I think also that's something that, the slower bowlers are being used now to be able to do that. Where to start with, they were probably the ones when 2020 first came into the game, where they were probably the ones who were really went after.
Daniel Vittori in to Ben Dunk, gets that one onto the leg side in a quick single. They'll go for two here, and they won't take it though, and that moves number 25. Interesting there to see that Ben Dunk, who is currently on 5, has now moved into the highest run scorer of the Big Bash League 03, and a boom recruit Ben Dunk has been this season.
It's been great, and as you said, not only just for 2020, it's obviously great to have down in Tassie. So Cricket Tasmania do seem to have a very good ability to bring people down to Tassie.
Tim Payne now faces Daniel Vittori. Oh, and he tries to get that one away, but swing and a miss, and straight through the keeper, no run taken. Payne 18 off 11 here has hit 2 fours. But Ben Dunk, and you heard the crowd cheering when they introduced him before, certainly becoming a crowd favourite. Vittori once again into Tim Payne, the captain, onto the offside. A quick single taken there. Hobart loves their heroes, don't they? I remember back in the first league run in the Naveed, everybody fell in love with the people's mullet.
They did indeed, didn't they? Yeah, they do. They love it. Love a hero. I guess if they are an import, there's a bit more to it as well. There's always a bit more of a story.
Ben can grow a mullet, and everyone will fall in love with it even more as Vittori comes to Ben Dunk, who drives that one straight down the wicket, and that is 4. Fantastic shot. Ben Dunk gets his first boundary, and the Hobart Hurricanes now move to none for 30. A magnificent shot straight down the field, and this is a very good start for Hobart.
It's a great shot by Ben.
Good to hear. We like when they get involved. As Vittori dead ball? No, doesn't want to do that one. Ben Dunk, so he's an issue with a helmet or something as he just walks away, puts his hand up, says I'm ready to go now, thanks Daniel. Satori continues to stance into Ben Dunk, who advances down the wicket and tries for the same shot. Can't get it past the fielder just inside the circle of Mark Sticchetti, and that is no run. Canes on none for 30 as Vittori. Final delivery now of the 4th over. Dunk onto the leg side this time. He'll look for 2. They won't get it though. Yes, they will. Fantastic bit of running there, and they will get home. The field just outside the rope on the hill, and brilliant bit of running in between that. Moves the Hurricanes none for 32 at the end of 4. A current run rate of 8. Before I go to you, Katie, Rod, you just said the reaction on the bench there of the Hurricanes went up for that shot. Are they looking quite relaxed down there at the moment?
Well, there's a few legs bouncing up and down. Jonathan Wells is quite ready to go in next. He's flexing his fingers, making sure he's loose. But Damien Wright was very impressed with that shot from Ben Dunk, so very happy with his charge at this stage.
Now, we'll also say that at the end of this over, we'll have a change up here in the commentary box. I didn't introduce him at the start. I am ashamed of that. None other than former Australian player and Tassie legend, Brett Jeeves, coming in the box to call this for you today. Get excited for that, Edge Radio, as we get ready to start this 5th over. And facing this one will be Tim Payne. As income's going on, it looks like. And oh, what a shot onto the other side. That is a 6! What an absolute magnificent shot into the construction zone. Tim Payne barely moved from his crease. Just cut that one over the top onto the offside, and we've seen the first 6 of the innings. Fantastic shot.
It's a great shot by Payne. He hardly even had to. It just almost looked like he tapped it. You know when your timing's right, when you can make it look that easy. Just in the timing and in the wrists, I think there he's straight into the construction site. As we said, that is the shorter boundary, so we might see a few balls fly that way tonight.
And it is sitting in a pile of gravel in that area right now. I think he's getting some of that Payne's juice that gives him the muscles flowing and gets those 6s flying. Welcome to this game. Cameron Gannon, first ball, bang, 6. And maybe he's regretting those shoes. Those shoes are so bright up here, Katie. We should explain those. They're these bright green fluorescent shoes that I think he thinks helps him bowl, but it just gets some 6s hit off him.
There's football teams that wouldn't allow that to happen in the AFL. Isn't that? There's a few teams I think that would say that's being a bit too individual in a team sport.
No. Rick, do you have any stats for people wearing fluorescent shoes at all? What their
I don't think it's Phil Carman playing out there, but he just remind me of that.
As Gannon now comes in to Tim Payne. 25 he's sitting on at the moment, and he again cuts that one away onto the offside, and another boundary. Brilliant over so far for Tim Payne. And that moves him now up to none for 42. The Hurricanes, I should say. Tim Payne moves up to 25, and that is a fantastic start for Tim Payne. Looking dangerous early on here, Rick.
I was going to say, though, that their approach has been fairly measured. Ben Dunk has made a reputation this season for teeing off from the get-go, but he's played himself in tonight. Different tactics.
Gannon from the river end to Tim Payne, who just blocks that one and called for a single there quickly by Ben Dunk, and he runs back to his crease. No run taken, and a victory for Cameron Gannon. He hasn't got a run off a ball, and halfway through the over, he's only on 10. Good start.
They do look measured. Payne almost looks like he's flirting with the field. There's been a couple close to the fieldsman, but it's almost like he's just placing it perfectly.
Current run rate of 9.33 here. The Hurricanes doing well. Tim Payne, 29 of 16, faces Gannon, and he cuts that one through onto the offside, finds the gap, but only a single fielded just in front of the construction zone there. Moves to none for 43. Puts Ben Dunk back on strike here, Katie. He's been doing all right, Ben. Not quite as aggressive, though, as Tim, obviously, so far.
No, I think given the chance, he'll play as well. He'll play his role, as you've mentioned. I mean, he's played his role all season. He's getting great form, so I think these two already good little partnership going here, but they could really set the Hurricanes up.
I think they've been more determined to preserve their wickets early this match, whereas before perhaps they haven't worried too much about that.
Gannon continues from the river end to Ben Dunk, who just blocks that one away onto the offside, and a quick single, number 44, Hobart Hurricanes. The Gannon Cannon, maybe, is a nickname that he could give it there, Katie. I'm not too sure about that one, but so far it's been the Hurricanes Cannon. They've had a great over off him.
Yeah, he hasn't worried the Hurricanes too much yet. But as Rick said, I think at the moment that really important just to have wickets in hand. We've seen that at all levels of 2020, the difference that makes towards the end of an innings.
Final delivery of Gannon's first over. And he comes in from the river end and Payne. Oh, what an absolute brilliant shot straight down onto the leg side. And that is a 6. Rod, that wasn't you trying to catch that one. That was a pathetic effort on the boundary from the Hurricane support member there. But brilliant shot. That moves Hobart. None for 50 off 5. And a fantastic start. And what a way to change over here in the commentary box. We're going to hand over to Brett Jeeves. Katie, fantastic start here from Hobart.
Absolutely. I think all Hurricane supporters will be very excited with that, especially with the way Tim Payne's just decided he's going to go aerial as well. Not just going to... Obviously, I think they have been fairly... he's been very clever in the way that he's scored his runs so far and very calculated. But when the ball's there to be hit, these guys are really going to go for it.
Good words.
Good to have you here, Jeevesy.
Good words, Katie. Different role for me tonight in the play-by-play chair here. But Vittori in, Dunk high over mid-off. That was as easy as you like. Stand and deliver, Ben Dunk. We've become accustomed to seeing that from him in the purple clothing in BBL 03. Dan Vittori getting that slightly full, wide of the off stump, and Dunk as easy as you like over the top of mid-off. Sets a tone for the over. Now Vittori will need to be very defensive here. Dunk nudges onto the leg side, fielded there by the man at 45, and they scamper through for a single.
That's the best thing about getting that 4 off the first over. They really can just push singles here or there now, and still get a good over off Vittori.
Yeah, the first ball really sets a tone for the over. 4 off, they can go for 5 singles and take 9 off Vittori. Vittori replies with a dot. Going very straight here, Vittori. Very strong leg side field. Packed on the offside, everybody up with mid-off back. It's a smart play, Vittori, we know that. And again, tight to leg side. Payne getting some good bat on that one. Nudges into the mid-wicket region. And they come through for an easy single.
He's a good bowler, but is there something in facial hair in cricket at the moment, do we think? Obviously, the mole on Mitchell Johnson's been very important.
Vittori again. Dunk. Again, that is a remarkable cricket shot. True stand and deliver, easy as you like. No real extension, no golf-style bat swing. It was almost an extended forward press, Katie, over the top of mid-off, and that is 6. Ben Dunk coming into his own here. It was Payne the aggressor early, and now Dunk is really taking it to Vittori, which is good to see. Smart play from Dunk, working that one through to the leg side, out to the man at deep square leg. Vittori won't be happy with that. It's the end of the over, none for 62. He was travelling well there, Vittori, going nicely, offering up plenty of dots, and Dunk, I think generally in T20 cricket, once you reach your third over, batsmen generally have your measure, and that was certainly the time that Dunk had decided he was going to put his foot down, a couple of boundaries.
Especially when the guy at the other end's doing it, you've got to probably say, well, if he's doing it, I can do it too, especially if you're the informed batsman for the Hurricanes, don't you? I'm sure Ben Dunk's thinking, well, I know Payne's good, but I want a little turn at that as well.
Well, it's got 25 off his 3 overs, Brett.
25 from Vittori, thanks Rick.
He goes at 6.15 in this comp, so the Hurricanes will be happy with what they've taken off Daniel Vittori.
Certainly that last over. How many off the last over there, Rick?
12?
13.
Yeah.
So he was travelling nicely there, his first 2 overs, and as I said, that third over is generally the one that'll bring you undone as a bowler if you go 3 straight. Cameron Gannon came in for 1 over. He went for plenty. Tim Payne liked what he saw there and sport about a bowling change, and we'll see James Hopes. We're seeing Ryan Harris from the River Ends to Ben Dunk. Back of length delivery. Dunk with soft hands to mid-wicket, no run.
That is the worst thing about opening the Ryan Harris, isn't it? It makes the rest of your fast bowls seem pretty slow for the batsman.
Well, the wicket, I was chatting to Wacker Tame at the back, who'll be joining us soon, and now we both noted that the wicket was very slow. Gannon offering some short stuff that got dealt with. Harris to Dunk again, it's worked through the leg side. The man there's a tangle. Ryan Harris applying some sort of rugby league fend off to Ben Dunk. They'll come back for an easy 2. An apology from Ryan Harris. We all know he doesn't mean that. He's a big, mad, fast bowler, Ryan, and he's more than happy to get in the way of the batsman. But well played from Ben Dunk. I think understanding the situation, Katie, that Harris, certainly the strike bowler in this Heat team, and if you can nudge him around for 1s and 2s, he's certainly done his job. Harris again, running towards us. Ben Dunk has hit that out of the ground. That has gone over the construction site. 2 bounces into the blue cubicles. I'm not sure anyone will actually get that, Katie, because that is deep into the construction site.
I can see it from here, Brett.
Rick's got a spot on it. Maybe we can jump on the PA system and guide someone to that, Rick. I'm not sure how
someone will find it.
I'm not sure how we go about that, but Katie, explain that to me.
That's
because
just disrespectful, isn't it? You can't do that to Ryan. As we're just saying, thinking probably nudge him around, get a few singles here. Don't worry about scoring too many off this over. Ben Dunk's gone, no, that's not how I'm playing. My eyes in. Let's pop him over the fence.
It's a touch of I'm the man here. Yeah, the scoreboard was flashing before. Ben Dunk now the leading run scorer in this Big Bash League. I don't care who you are. I'm going to take you on, and that's actually in the sand there, Rick. And he's picked that up, so that'll be a 2-stroke penalty. And he's not replaced it, so he's been disqualified, that man down there out of the sand, which is disappointing for him, but not so for Ben Dunk, who's rich vein of form, carries on, and I'm really enjoying Ben Dunk's swagger at the moment. I play a bit of club cricket with Dunky, and heading into this season, he's a very shy, reserved sort of chap, and he's got a bit of swagger since his Big Bash success, so which has been good to see, and that certainly carries over into your batting as well. If you're seeing them well, able to play shots like we just saw. Dunk gets a little bit of width through the cover region. Cameron Gannon out there with a super throw, wearing Kyle Reimers' football boots, I think was the word at the back.
We did say something similar. Yeah,
who's no longer on an AFL list, so maybe that's a sign that
it may be a sign. We
boots.
did mention we weren't sure all AFL teams would allow it, so would all BBL teams, all Big Bash League teams actually allow a player to play?
Perhaps Cameron Gammon got them off eBay.
Ryan Harris, again from the river end, bowling short into Payne's ribs. He works that nicely just behind square where there's no fielder. Deep fine leg is back, and they get an easy single. It's been a good start, Katie. You'd have to imagine the Hurricanes would be very much elated with this start.
You'd think if you'd asked them, at the start of the game, where they like to be after 7, that they'd be happy with this start.
Full of length, that's Yorker length, and Dunk squeezes it nicely. The man at forward square leg wasn't able to chase it down. Valiant effort, no good though. 4 more runs to Ben Dunk, an expensive over from Ryan Harris. He's conceded 14 from the over with a 6 and a boundary and a host of singles. So very well played. It's gone against what we predicted up here, Katie, that they'd look to see off Ryan Harris.
Look, I'm pleased they weren't listening to us, but maybe they were, and they just thought, you two don't know anything. So, and both looking very comfortable as well, which is good to be scoring at this rate without having to sort of go out of the ordinary. Both
check out that scoreboard symmetry, Brett. 38 off 21 each.
It's been super going as Katie Bailey leaves us now, and Michael Tame joins us. Just need to remind our listeners that there is a prize pack on offer today. What are we actually running in terms of a competition? It's just a text in, and we'll throw it open. So the text number is 0427 334 336, or tweet us #EdgeBBL. See a change in bowling. James Hopes from the Church Street end, and what he's offered up, he won't like. It was wide and it was full, and Tim Payne has caressed that through the bacon cover region for 4. Cameron Gannon in those boots picks it up, lobs it back to James Hopes, who won't like that as a start. Welcome, Wacker.
G'day, Jeezy. How are you?
Going nicely. Yeah, great to have you. Hopes just aiming that at the stumps. It would have hit middle. Payne opening the blade and working that again into the vacant cover region. Not quite timing it. So only the single, which brings Ben Dunk on a strike, and I think we'll see James Hope's bowling very straight here with the boundary to the leg side here from the Church Street end for Ben Dunk is a good, it has to be a good 85 metres.
Oh, that's big on that side.
Big hit, so I think we'll see Hope's certainly attacking the stumps and attempting to make Dunk hit to that long side. Again, Hope's very straight. Dunk being quite smart about it here. Taking the pace off the ball, and Payne will come back for 2. Good running, smart batting from Benny Dunk.
So I think smart batting overall. They've actually had the best time to bat is right now. Good seam conditions. The wicket is a little bit slow, as you've mentioned, but the bowling has been, I've got to say, it's been pretty terrible, really. They've bowled short, they haven't bowled to a plan, and they've been taken to task.
Hopes again. Off stump, Dunk works that. Again, soft hands. He's been smart about this, Dunk. Fielded by the man at backward point. 1 run. None for 84. Dunk moves to 41 from 23. 3 4s and 2 6s. Timmy Payne, 4 4s, 2 6s. 43 off his 23 balls faced. None for 85. And I guess when you've gone 7.4 overs and the score's none for 85 as a bowling group, you haven't quite got it wrong.
They
haven't quite got it right. Yeah. Hope's full and straight. Payne attempting to work that one through the onside. Slower ball, leg cutter from Hope's. Just getting a leading edge. Down to mid-off. Well fielded by the man there at mid-off. Was up to the fact that Benny Dunk had fallen over and Timmy Payne was looking for 2. Got it in quickly.
Yeah, what we've seen here is the batters are actually just playing good cricket shots to bad balls, and if you're a good batter, you play good cricket shots there, you'll score runs. Field spread here wide, they're really hard to see which side they're going to bowl without getting a boundary against them.
Ben Dunk gets a thick outside edge. The ball was wide and short. It was probably not James Hope's best delivery he's ever attempted to get down there, but Ben Dunk gets a thick outside edge. It beats the keeper and races away for 4. I didn't mind the plan though, Tammy. It's the end of over, none for 90 off 8 overs. I didn't mind the plan though, particularly with the long side. He was attempting obviously to get Benny Dunk to hit through the leg side. Maybe went the reverse Malachi, threw one wide in the hope of getting the nick. He did so, but it didn't carry 4 runs.
I think you said it there. The plan is all well and good, but their execution of the plan today has not been at all good, and they're really paying the price here. Boards have battered themselves well. This is where we've struggled a little bit in our past games. If we lose a wicket, you've got to make sure that one of these guys who's actually tapping the ball around stays in for a period of time.
Well, what it does allow, Tammy, and we haven't seen it so far in the Series 4, Hobart, is a great start. Means that Travis Burke can come in next, play with some real freedom. We've seen him sort of struggle a little bit over the last couple of years. He had that great first up series, change of bowler. Ben Cutting with a bouncer to Tim Payne. Magnificent effort from the man at deep fine leg. Luke Palmer's batch, I think, from up here. It was quick. Young McDermott, the fielder, my apologies, was fast and well directed at the left shoulder of Tim Payne. He was in good position and struck it flat at the man McDermott who came in. Terrific effort. I like this from Ben Cutting. He's got the pace to be able to back this plan up.
That's right. The only thing is the wicket might be just a tad slow. Really, that was a little bit too short, and Payne had a lot of room on that leg side. He could have put it between those two players. Wasn't a great ball.
I just think if you've got the pace and if you're bowling to a 90-metre boundary, Tammy, it's probably not, regardless of the pace of the wicket, it's not a bad play. The hook shot's probably the hardest to play in all all the shots. Cutting again, full and wide to Dunk. That'll be a wide. Different plan of attack, obviously, with Cutting bowling to Dunk. Dunk hitting to the short boundary of only, it'd be a drop punt for you, Rick, 45 metres. Probably
it's an underarm throw for you, Jeeves, isn't it?
Probably a drop kick for you, Rick. You were playing way back when.
Sandwich.
Just a sandwich. It's a cry.
Even the cameraman called that one wide.
Yeah, poor delivery from Cutting, but again, I like the plan. Full and wide again, Dunk. Well executed from the bowler, hitting the crease line wide. Dunk could do nothing but tap that to cover. Well bowled, good plan.
As you say, they've now spread their field out on that side. They've actually got one side of the wicket he's bowling to. Makes a big difference to the score right now. They've dropped down a tad.
And it's obvious as well, when a bowler has a plan, you can see execution is obviously the next part, but at least you can see what he's attempting to do. yes, that might telegraph it to the batsman a little bit who can prepare for it, but if you execute it, it doesn't matter. And Cutting, bowling with some good pace. Back of length to Payne, who works that with soft hands to Daniel Vittori at backward points, and they get another single. None for 94.
Just looking at Ben Dunks, he's hit 2 sixes tonight already. 6 hitters in the BBL 03 so far. Chris Lynn, who we'll see later tonight, heading the table on 14. Finch and Luke Wright, 12, and now Dunk has joined them on 12.
He's been impressive, Dunk. I thought for a moment there Cutting was going to come around the wicket to him. He hasn't, which is a good plan, I think, particularly if he's going wide and full, which he has again. Dunk squirts this one past the man at backward point with an open blade, and they get one. Cameron Gannon, some good work out there in the deep.
As you say, Jeeves, it's only 1 or 4 on that side, or if you bowl a shocking ball, it's 6. But better off than that side than being clubbed over our construction site there, as we've seen before.
Well, we saw Cameron Gannon in his first over bowling to Tim Payne, who offered up some short and wide stuff to the short boundary. One went for 6, the next went for 4, and then there was another that was caressed past the man at short third man. Cutting again, slow ball, back of length again. Payne with good soft hands works that down to the man at third man for 1 run. I've liked this from Cutting, Wack. You'd be the same.
This is much better. He's bowling back of length there. The players have got to do something, a little bit different in order to score runs. But they're doing the smart thing here. We've got wickets in hand, and you've got a good score on the board. This is what we haven't done in the previous games, is maintain our wickets towards the end.
5 overs prior to this, Hurricanes got 66 runs.
It's been an impressive little spurt here from Payne and Dunk. Cutting's been impressive too as he comes again full and wide. This one's a full toss. Dunk getting the toe into the bat again out to Gannon, who's patrolling the offside in the deep for another single. None for 97 at the end of the 9th over. Impressive start from Cutting.
Yeah, much better. I think he's picked out the wicket and how it should be bowled to. Just that back of a length, nothing too short that sits up, gets popped over the fence.
What I liked, Wack, was his change of pace. We saw 2 slow balls, both back of length. I think you mentioned it in the back of the box there a while ago that's going to be a good play tonight. Back of length on this wicket. It is very, very slow. I like the bouncer. There weren't 2 balls in a row that were the same. I think that's a really good plan.
It means you have to do something out of the ordinary as a batter.
Hopes to Dunk, who offers a little bit of width on the offside. Dunk plays and misses. And again, you can see the plan. I'm not sure I like it though, with Dunk hitting to the short boundary on the offside. They've got the sweeper at deep point. 2 men in the circle at a 45 and a backward point. Love to see Dunk hitting straight down the ground here. Hopes again to Dunk, who bowls full. It's on off stump, and it's well worked by Ben Dunk, who uses the pace of the ball down to the man at mid-on. Young McDermott again, good throw. Well bowled, James Hopes.
Equal to their best partnership against the Sixers, 98. And in fact, they've got 2 out of the 3 best opening partnerships in BBL 03 in the whole comp.
What's the best opening stand for the Hurricanes?
98.
Rick? Of all time?
Season, I'll come back to you with that.
Sorry about that. I've put you under the pump there, which is unusual for you, Rick. Normally you're onto that. Hopes of Payne. Payne shuffles across the stumps. He's hit it straight down the throat of the man at deep backward square leg. Good intent from Payne. He was obviously eyeing off the short boundary. It wasn't bad execution. James Hopes took the pace off the ball, and it was back of length, Tammy. Good bowling, but a good plan from Timmy Payne, eyeing off that short boundary. The Heat get their man. They break the partnership at 98.
Yeah, again, a little bit of a worry. I think they could have waited an over or 2 more to be able to do that. I think they're scoring. You can score 6 and over quite comfortably. I don't think their fielding's been great.
We're just going to throw quickly down the rod who's with us down on the boundary line. What's the feel in the crowd with Timmy Payne being dismissed, Rod?
Obviously disappointment here, Brett, but very appreciative of his efforts so far. That was a great start to the innings, and the crowd love him, as you can hear, I think, and he's walking down into the box now just to get adjusted before he comes out and supports the rest of the boys.
Now, Rod, being at ground level, was there a thought in your conversations with the crowd that maybe Travis Burt would come in next, or was John Wells the popular choice?
I think John Wells was the pick right from the start. He's been flexing and up and down like a jack in the box, making sure that he's ready and warm before he goes out. And the lights are just kicking in here, Brett, so it's there's quite a lot of atmosphere.
Thanks for that, Ryder. It can be a difficult time to bat as well, just on twilight, Tammy. When, the lights haven't quite set in.
They've
You're
just started up, so
still relying on the
adjustment to do.
Relying on the natural light. Full and straight from Hopes, the new batter in Wells, who works it to the man at short mid-wicket for no run. I'm really surprised that Burt wasn't the man to come in after a really positive start.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised, to be honest. I mean, you've got a good score on the board. Burt can really, you can take him apart if we know we've got wickets in hand.
Hopes attacking the stumps with the slow ball on this occasion. Well fielded by the man at mid-wicket. Only the one run. He's at Palmer's back there. I really need to get my eyes tested, Rick. I think it might be Luke Palmer's back, who moves swiftly to his right. Quite athletic for a big man. He stands at about 6'3". Palmer's back. He's a good mover for a man of that size.
It's the first time I've really seen the batsmen being hurried up by the fielders. They've been a little bit lax, to be honest. It's been easy ones.
Hopes from the Church Street end, full and straight again to Dunk, who works it well into the leg side. That man Gannon comes off the deep mid-wicket boundary.
100 up.
That's the 100 up for the Hobart Hurricanes. 1 for 100 off exactly 10 overs, and 50 to Ben Dunk.
30 balls.
Off 30 balls. And what's even more exciting is that Benny Waterworth standing behind me, the tap on the shoulder. So, Wacker, give us your thoughts on the game so far.
Oh, so I think we're in the box lead here, provided we maintain wickets in hand coming in those last 5 overs. And as you said, if we can get Travis Burt in that last 5 overs, I think we can do a lot of damage. But to mine, the bowlers have just been a little bit off target. They've brought it back now somewhat with that wicket of pain. And hopefully Ben Dunk realises his seniority here and he's got to take control of the game.
As Ben Dunk now faces Cutting, who bowls and a swing and a miss. And a wide is called as well. And good result of the Hurricanes. As that puts them now to 1 for 101 as we see into the attack. Ben Cutting at the moment. Very exciting effort so far from the Hurricanes. Watching it out there outside of the box, Mike. And look, I'm hoping that there will be a stability in the middle order.
That's what we've desperately lacked, that stability. We've had some opportunities and they've gone begging.
As Cutting continues from the river end to Ben Dunk, who cuts that one onto the offside, and that is going to be a boundary straight in front of the hill. Magnificent shot, and that is a well-needed boundary after that wicket of Tim Payne to continue this fantastic start from Hobart and get that consistency going.
Well, this is no risk time, really. We're over 100 runs. We've only 10 overs have just gone on. 1 wicket down. There's an opportunity here to build a big score and to put pressure on the batters coming in when they have their turn.
As we have Ben Cutting bowling to Ben Dunk, the battle of the Bens from the river end. As Dunk just pads that one onto the offside, and it's fielded beautifully just on the circle. Stopped. Did get away from the fielder in there. They do take a quick single. And he tried to hang on to that one. I think that might be Hopes, as they still get a single there from that delivery. Moves up to 1 for 106. It's a bit of a sneaky delivery, that one there by Cutting.
Like I said before, he's working with a bit of a plan. He's got that offside cover there, so he's actually got to make a good shot to get past the infield for 4.
This puts Jono Wells onto strike now. He just has a bit of a glance around now, trying to find the gaps on the field, and he's looking quite aggressive there, Jono. He knows he's got a good start behind him, and he knows that he's got to continue this great start from the Hurricanes. As Cutting into Jono Wells, who just drives that one straight past the bowl. They will look for 2, and they will get 2. Brilliant piece of running there, as the fielder does get that one straight to the wicket. It does hit Wells, but they do take 2. Fantastic running between the wickets. You mentioned before, of course, that they haven't really been made to work for their runs, as the fielding hasn't been overly brilliant. Is this something that Brisbane are going to have to clearly work on for the rest of this innings?
Well, as we know, it's a game of opportunities. You take a catch, a brilliant catch, or a good run out, and it could certainly change the whole nature of the game.
That's Cutting Continues now to John O'Wells, who once again straight down onto the leg side, and they will take a single this time. Puts Ben Dunk back onto strike. Rick, great opening partnership, of course, mentioned before. I know that Jeezy put you on the spot there for highest score there for Dunk. Did you find that one out?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the opening stance for the Hurricanes, I should say.
Ponting and Payne 111. It was the only one that was ahead of them. So these guys have got 2 opening stands of 98, which is a bit frustrating for them, I think. Both this season.
Good, bodes well for the future, though, for the Hurricanes. Is cutting now into Dunk, who again straight on to the offside, and a single taken there for the Hurricanes. Moves them up to 110. One more delivery this over, which seems to have gone for quite a while. We had that wide at the start of cuttings over here, but seems like he's been bowling now for quite some time.
I think they'd be happy if he was bowling for a bit longer. He's picked up the pace of the pitch. He's only going for that 6 and over, whereas the others were going at, upwards of double figures. He's brought it back a bit.
Cutting for the final delivery now of the 11th over to John O'Wells, who gets that one beautifully onto the leg side just behind the wickets, and a quick single taken. Wells will retain the strike, and at the end of the 11th, the Hurricanes won for 111. It might throw down to Rod. We're seeing the lights on at the moment. The sun is going down. A lot of purple out there, I can see. How are you feeling the vibe of the crowd is at this point of the game?
Look, the crowd are right into this. They're quiet. They're expecting that the Hurricanes get up around 200, I think, with the opening partnership of 98. So a lot of the young children behind me, they're calling on the players to come over and sign autographs. I saw Cameron Boyce signing a few just a moment ago.
As Captain Hopes bowls into John O'Wells, cuts that one onto the offside, fielded just inside the circle, a quick single taken. Just reminding everybody listening at home, of course, if you're enjoying our coverage here on Edge Radio, 0427 334 336, or hashtag EdgeBBL on Twitter, and win yourself a fantastic Blunston prize pack. And we're, of course, here with the fantastic support of Blunston, as well as Cricket Tasmania, to be able to bring this coverage for you tonight, as Hopes continues into Ben Duncan, Church Street end. Straight drives that one towards Hopes, misfield, and they will take a single. Brilliant running there by Ben Dunk. He hesitated slightly, but kept going. The crowd appreciate that one, and that's what you need. You need to take these daring singles sometimes.
Yeah, Hopes couldn't quite get hold of that. He was clawing at it on his hands and knees, and nearly got it, but just able to run the single.
Ran out of hope, it has to be said.
It's probably one of the few risks the batsmen have taken, really, with the running.
John O'Wells currently 6 off 6 bowls, faces Hopes, and he cuts that one over the top of the fielder there, just inside the circle on the offside, and that is a 4. A brilliant shot by John O'Wells. Gets his first boundary, 1 for 117, the Hobart Hurricanes. No Travis Burt brought in next, of course, Mike, but John O'Wells, this is what he needs to do.
This is fine. As I say, we're only 1 wicket down. There's only 11.3 overs gone. There's plenty of time for Travis Burt.
Hopes continues to John O'Wells, who tries to get that one behind him with a cut onto the offside, but it is fielded. No run taken.
Only 13 dot balls in 12 overs, Ben. So they've been running the 1s and 2s really well tonight, better than I've seen them in the past.
And of course, if you can't get those 4s or 6s, 2020 very much about getting those quick runs and maintaining the run rate, as Hopes continues from the Church Street end to Wells, who once again goes for that cut behind him onto the offside, but fielded just inside the circle. No run taken. Be the 14th dot ball then, of course, Henrik, wouldn't it? My maths are correct.
Well done, Ben.
Thank you. You did teach me well in geography all those years ago, even though it wasn't to do with maths. Were some numbers involved. Hopes continues his very... over the Hobart Hurricanes, 1 for 118, run rate sitting just under 10, and an interesting situation as we sit with 8 overs to go, Michael. I mean, if you're Hobart Hurricanes right now, you're in the pitch, you're John O'Wells or you're Ben Dunk, what are you saying to each other right now?
Well, one of these players has got to take it on board here. We've got Ben Dunk's been in for a while, he's 50 plus. He's the one who's got to take control of the game here. John O'Wells, he can just see himself in, and then when the next person comes in, if that happens, then he takes over that role. This is what we've lacked. We've lost wickets in pairs and threes, and that means you've got to restart again. You need one player out there who's actually been for a little while that can get the pace of the wicket and assess the bowlers and the fielding positions.
This Edge Radio coverage of the Hobart Hurricane KFC Big Bash League match is brought to you with the assistance of Blundstone and Cricket Tasmania.
Cameron Gannon continuing now from the river end to Jono Wells, who once again goes to that cut behind the wicket onto the offside, and a single this time is taken off it, puts Ben Dunk back on strike. Seems like he's going for that same shot and trying to find a gap between them, but he just can't get it correctly.
I think the bowlers have tightened up a tad. You see, that wasn't wide of the wicket. It was actually closer to his body, so it made it hard for him to get free his arms and get that full shot that they've been getting previously.
Ben Dunk clears those cracks, and good start here from Ben Dunk, as we mentioned before.
This Edge Radio coverage
brought him to
Hurricane.
be the highest run scorer of the Big Bash League 03. Gets ready to face the bright shoes of Cameron Gannon, who continues from the river end and bowls to Ben Dunk, and a swing and a miss. He goes for the big pull shot onto the leg side and completely misses that one. Goes straight through to Keysbetter. Dot ball for the Hobart Hurricanes, and a valuable dot ball, of course, for the Brisbane Heat.
So I think the bowlers have picked up the pace of the wicket, albeit a little bit too late, but it's going to make scoring a little bit more difficult, and batters are having to hit outside their comfort zone here, so you're going to have to go not necessarily good cricket shots.
Builders over there in the construction zone ready to catch that one, I think, as Gannon into Ben Dunk, and this time straight on the leg side, a single taken, fielded just outside the circle. Hurricanes now move to 1 for 120.
I think we should be looking at about 180 with this start, 180 plus. What's the average of the score down here?
At 158.
158.
Yeah. Hurricanes' best score here is 184.
The last game, I think we were 160 plus. So with this start, you'd be looking at 180, I'd hope.
Gannon too well to advances down the wicket, and a very high shot. There's a fielder underneath it, just on the boundary. He's running, and he's going to catch it. And he has a brilliant catch and fantastic there, right down near Rod. And that is the end of Jono Wells. That ball didn't look like it wanted to come down at all. And that is the end of Jono Wells, a second wicket for the Hobart Hurricanes. Rod, you were close to that one. How was that effort?
Look, it was a great catch, a really good sliding catch. He kept his eyes on the ball all the way while he was running, and he ran quite a way to take it. Shoaib Malik's coming in next, so be interesting, be a real challenge for Shoaib Malik. Been doing well in the bowling department, but the Hurricanes need a few runs to win.
Joe Burns was the man who took that catch, as Shoaib Malik, as Rod just informed us, a man who hasn't really got a hold of much in terms of batting this Big Bash League 03, has he?
No, unfortunately. I think he's a good player. There's no doubt about that. But he needs to stamp his name on the game here. Now's a good chance. We've got almost 8 overs to go. There's a good opportunity here to get that run rate up, and also look at the 180 plus.
Rick, is there a stat here, probably putting you on the spot in terms of this one, but obviously our middle order, we've talked a little bit about it throughout this coverage. Is there a sort of an average that we're fallen for in terms of the wickets? They seem to fall pretty quickly from about this point, don't they?
I could do a bit of an analysis, take a bit of time, and probably by the time the innings is over. So.
Well, as long as we're keeping you at work here, Rick. That's we're keeping the brain ticking. That's what we're here to do on Edge Radio. As the Hurricanes now 2 for 120 after that wicket. Shoaib Malik getting ready to face the delivery, just getting those boots to scrape away cracks and any sort of fluff that's annoying him there. As Gannon continues to bowl from the river end. It's a shot there on to the leg side, a slower ball there, and a single taken, 2 for 121.
Interesting, while that ball's in the air, they actually ran 2. Doesn't count, mind you, but that gives you an idea how long the ball was in the air.
It was flying higher than the lights here. If we had a roof at Blundstone Arena, it probably would have been a 6.
This is very important to make sure Dunk stays here for a little bit longer. You wouldn't want to see 2 batters go out straight away.
Ben Dunk is looking at that gap on the leg side. He wants to hit towards it again for the final delivery. He doesn't quite get that one straight on to the offside, and a single is taken at the end of the 13th over. Hobart Hurricanes 2 for 122. Run rate 9.38. And Rod, looking at the screen now, some very interesting costumes there at the moment. I know that people have been told to wear purple, but I'm seeing Angry Birds costume. What's going on there? Well, as long as you're not wearing one, Rod, that's the main thing. I know Mike and I aren't wearing one, Rick's not wearing one, and that's what...
Well, it won't be long before I have to.
James Hopes gives from the chest read into Ben Dunk, who gets that one on to the offside, and a quick single is taken, putting Shoaib Malik back on strike, 2 for 123, the Hobart Hurricanes. Do you feel as though might the Hurricanes start thinking about being a bit more aggressive, or is it still keeping those wickets?
I think you can afford to have one player being aggressive, but if you had two and we lose 2 wickets here, we've got to start again, and that 180 might turn into 160, and it's not the same scoreboard pressure. 180 is a very good score. We've got one short boundary here, I know, but I think if the Hurricanes bowlers take note of what had happened in this innings, they would be bowling better than the Heat did.
Hopes continues to Malik, who gets that one on to the offside, and a switch single. They'll look for 2. They will get 2 here. Yes, they will. Brilliant bit of running in between the wickets there. And Shoaib Malik, who I said before, been a bit slow this tournament, he's woken up. He wants to run tonight.
Well, I think actually Ben Dunk pulled him through for that one. I think he was a bit reluctant to go, but he had to go because Dunk was running.
Well, I think we mentioned at the start of the program, this is it.
Very much it, as James Hopes continues from the Church Street end to Shoaib Malik, who gets that cut behind him there onto the offside, straight down to Rod at the Hurricanes bench, and a 4. Shoaib Malik is here to bat, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, and that moves the Hurricanes 2 for 129, and that's what we need from the imports, isn't it?
That's exactly right. You're an experienced player. You should be able to take this and assess the situation. That was a brilliant piece of work there. Fielder's up on that side. Nice little dab, 4 runs.
Wasn't that a classy
risk.
shot?
Very.
Classy shot, but no risk.
Hopes continues now to Shoaib Malik, who this time just blocks it onto the onside. No run taken. Shoaib Malik, no doubt, would be very happy that he's got some runs tonight. Of course, got the golden duck the other night. 0 off 0. 0 is not the thing you want to have in cricket, and particularly when you don't even face a ball.
The good thing is he's got another string to his bow. He'll be very much a part of the bowling attack tonight.
Hopes has 2 more deliveries left of his spell as he continues now to Shoaib Malik, who this time goes on. What a shot onto the leg side, over to the building side. As I said, the fielders the buildersmen over there wanted to catch that one. It is a 6. Magnificent shot. And where has his batting been all season, Mike? That's an incredible shot.
Maybe saving the best till last. I hope those construction workers are on the clock too. They'll be doing a bit of work over there later on this evening.
No, backlift. It's just an incredible shot, just a short arm.
He just punched that, but he picked up the length of the ball very quickly.
That's the most work I've seen from construction workers past 7 o'clock ever.
You'll have the union onto you, Ben.
Fantastic shot as we retrieve the ball. If you like that shot, you're liking the coverage here, send us a text 0427 334 336. Let us know. Remember, we've got those Blunston prize packs to give away. Hashtag EdgeBBL, of course. Brett Jeeves joining us in the box very, very shortly. I know he's a keen man on the social media. He loves it, and he loves his texting as well. And he'll be keen to read your text in here this evening. Beautiful Hobart evening here. Absolutely magnificent. Great atmosphere as well. James Hopes has 1 more delivery left of his spell, gone for 36 off his 3.5 overs, so he'll be looking for a dot ball or a wicket to end his spell here. Shoaib Malik 13 off his 5 balls he's faced. His Hopes the last ball, and Malik this time cuts that one onto the boundary just on the leg side. A quick single taken, and that moves the Hobart Hurricanes at the end of 14, 2 for 136. A run rate of 9.71. Rick, do we have a projected total at the moment of what this could be looking at right now?
Well, 6 overs to go. If they get a run of ball, that's 172. So you'd think they'd be able to do that at least.
And with all those wickets in hand, I think we should be right now.
We're going to see a bit of a change up here in the experts chair, as I believe we're getting Katie Bailey back in. Mike, no doubt we'll be calling with you later on. But
catch you later, Ben. I'll make way for Katie.
Enjoy the call. Rod, just quickly down there, how are the Hurricanes feeling on the bench? Are they a bit more relaxed? The legs have stopped shaking a little bit more?
They have. And look, Dougie Bollinger, what a concentration, what a study in relaxation. He was wearing the thongs. He might as well just be wearing his pyjamas. He's sitting down. He's like a man at the drive-in with his parents.
Well, there you go. As Harris continues from the river end to Malik, a swing and a miss, and dot ball, valuable one there for the Brisbane Heat as I welcome back into the commentary box Katie Bailey. Not sure if Dougie Bollinger wants to rock up here in his PJs. Katie, I wanted to rock up here in my PJs, and I felt that comfortable being up here. But
Are they purple? I think it's allowed if they're purple PJs.
well,
They certainly are purple.
yeah, well, I think I could find some purple ones there. Maybe Louise can lend me hers. I'm not too sure. As Harris continues now to show of Malik, who just gets another big shot onto the leg side. There's a man underneath it, and a brilliant catch.
Burns.
Oh, Burns again. What a fantastic sliding catch underneath, and that is the end of show of Malik. That is a second fantastic catch there for the Brisbane Heat. 3 for 136. And makes things a little bit interesting, Katie.
2 great catches
Travis
by Burns.
Burt coming in.
And we've seen, one that went really high and quite hard to judge, but really got under it. And that one there, just having to slide to get to it, but great effort. I think the Hurricanes fans were fairly happy with what they're seeing coming in next. I think looks like Birdie's making his way onto the ground.
Going to say that cheer is for the man, Travis Burt, who has just been thereabouts this season. He's getting those 20s, those 30s. He's looking dangerous, and tonight could be the night that he starts firing those cannons. The Gannon cannons? No, the Burt cannons. He's going to start getting those missiles out and hitting them into the Derwent. Let's be honest. I think he can hit one over the Derwent.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very important, this partnership for the Hurricanes. I think this is, once again, they've got a really good start, which they've got a lot this season, and this is where they can really cement, a great innings. But they're needing someone to stick around with Dunk. And look, and the run rate's fine, once again, but they need to be there. I think they'll be wanting these guys to be there at the end. Stick around this sort of run rate for next couple of overs, and then really tee off towards the end.
It's Ben Dunk on strike now, facing Harris, who comes in from the river end, and Ben Dunk gets this one onto the offside just behind the wicket, and they will take a single. Moves the total now 3 for 137. Puts Travis Burt on strike. I'm going to get a bit of a taste now of how Travis is feeling this evening.
He should feel pretty settled after watching his fellow teammates, I think. Seeing the way Dunk and Payne have gone about it, they've really just shown some leadership and shown how it should be done. I mean, obviously, Payne got caught at the end, but played very calculated game. So hopefully Burt's been watching these two closely.
Well, we're about to find out as Ryan Harris from the river end to Travis Burt, who cuts that one onto the offside, and that is going to be a boundary. Yes, it is. Right in front of the KFC signs, the children there with the thunder sticks are getting involved. What a way to start your innings. That is what Travis Burt is here to do.
Absolutely. And we know it's what he can do best as well.
And that
That was
moves
a great cricket shot, wasn't it? No risk at all. Just straight to the boundary, along the ground.
3 for 141. Travis Burt on to 4 with a 4 off his first delivery. About to have a commentary change, of course, in just a moment with legendary Tasmanian cricketer Brett Jeeves to join Katie Bailey here in the box as Harris continues to Travis Burt, who just blocks that one onto the the offside, and they will get a single and move to 3 for 142. Harris, decent spell by him, but it's sort of been spread around a little bit, the runs off all the bowlers here tonight, Katie.
Definitely they have been, some more than others that we can say. Obviously, as you mentioned, Gannon was taken to fairly early.
Harris continues now to Ben Dunk, who cuts that one over the fielder there onto the offside, and it is fielded just inside the rope, but well run in between the wickets too, and that moves the Hobart Hurricanes now 3 for 144 at the end of the 15th over. I'm handing over to Mr. Brett Jeeves. Katie, 5 overs to go. What are you feeling?
I feel like the Hurricanes have been put in a really good position here by Tim Payne and Ben Dunk, and hopefully they can go on along with it. As we mentioned, and Rick was mentioning earlier, I mean, when they're playing well, they can. It's interesting the way that 2020 has developed, and they seem to be able to get these run rates without even having to sort of put themselves under too much risk. I know when Dunk and Payne were going well, they were doing it comfortably. So it'd be interesting to see. I think these two really have the ability to do that as well, and get a bad ball and tee off on the right one to get this run rate back up to 10 and hopefully over 200. I think it's probably playing the Heat. It's probably what they'll need. What do you think, Jeezy?
Yeah, good words, Katie. We saw the Heat pummel the Hurricanes at the Gabba for 206. Rick, does that sound about right? And of course, the Hurricanes chased them down, which was extraordinary. But Vittoria, the new bowler, gets a little shimmy from Travis Bird, who hits the ball backward a point. It'll only be the single to the short boundary. Bit of intent from Burt straight away, looking to shape to come down the wicket to Vittoria, who was quick enough to be able to dart it in back of length and with a little bit of pace for one. Vittoria to Dunk. Full ball Dunk with a big wind up. Hits it hard down to long off. It'll just be a single again. Vittoria, good bowling, offering a little bit of air on that occasion. Dunk definitely shaping to hit him hard down the ground. Possibly done by the flight of Vittoria. He gets his opportunity to Burt. It looked like an attempted deuce right. It is a
bonus.
Putrid was the word I was going to use, but you don't want to use the word putrid alongside Dan Vittoria because he is a master. It looked to be, it's gone for 4 wides.
So that's 5 all up.
5 all up. Thank you, Rick.
That's a great bonus for the Hurricanes run rate.
You would have known that as a bowler yourself,
Rick, I did play for 10 years. I was aware of that. Thank you. Bowled plenty of those myself, but disappointing delivery from Dan Vittoria. It looked like a deucer or even a leg spinner. It came out all wrong. Vittoria again to Burt. That one was going to hit the stump, so a much better delivery from Vittoria. Burt shaping again with good feet down the track. Vittoria offering a bit of pace. That's the 150 up for the Hurricanes. 3 for 152 or 15.3. Vittoria 3.3 overs, none for 33. He's taken a little bit of a pummeling here, and he's taken even more of a pummeling as Dunk has gone absolutely massive. I'd love to see how big that is because that's a 6, and a 6 straight at Bell Reeve is normally 95 metres plus. Magnificent feet from Ben Dunk. He saw a bit of flight. He went at it hard, got to the pitch and dispatched it beautifully.
He just looks to be doing this so easily, doesn't he? It just doesn't. He's playing beautifully.
Smart batting there. Vittoria very flat on that occasion. Dunk using the pace of the ball in between the two men. One backward a square, one at mid-wicket on the boundary, and he gets 2. Some good running from Benny Dunk and Travis Burt. They've both got some pace on their side, but
back to 10 and over now, Brett.
Thanks for that, Rick. Looking at over 200 here, the Hurricanes. You'd have to imagine that's what they're eyeing off. With Dunk hitting the way he is, they should get there easily. Vittoria with an arm ball, pitching outside, leg stump. Dunk works it through the leg side for 1 single. Disappointing finish to Dan Vittoria's spell. 3 for 161, the end of the 15th over. Vittoria's gone none for how many there?
42.
Rick? None for 42.
17 off that one.
So I'm sure if you said to Coach Damien right at the start of the game, you'll take Vittoria for more than 10s.
30 off his last 2.
He'd be most pleased. 30 off his last 2. So some good batting there, Katie.
Absolutely. The way Ben Dunk's playing, look, he just seems to be doing this. It's interesting, I think, the way we're talking about the way T20 has developed, and it used to just be let's hit as many runs as quickly as we can. But you can really see Ben Dunk here pushing singles and 2s around when he can, and then just opening up and getting a boundary just occasionally, but it just takes the pressure off for the rest of that over or for the next couple overs if you can squeeze a couple of 6s in. But just making this look very easy to beat over the run rate over 10 and over.
Cameron Gannon to bowl from the river end. Bowling to Ben Dunk. Bowls full. Dunk hits it hard to the man who's on the ring at cover, and they get a single. You just get the feeling with the 2 left-handers in this over, both hitting to the short boundary, and that natural swinging arc to the leg side. There could be some serious damage here, particularly Travis Burt. He's offered plenty, Katie, hasn't he? He gets to 20 and finds remarkable ways of getting himself out. Down again, Travis Burt. It's full and wide, and Travis Burt has squeezed this. It was no more than a squeeze. He didn't make great connection with it. Used the pace of the ball and beat the man who's on the ring at backward point, and has gone for 4. The man who's sweeping on the offside was unable to chase it down. A good delivery from Cameron Gannon, getting Travis Bird to hit through the offside. It's the long boundary out there, but he's hit it quite nicely, timed it well.
You've got to win as a bowler, I reckon, bowling there and bowling the way he has. But as you say, Travis Bird, he looks like he just doesn't look to have to hit it hard, but the power that he's got, the ball just flies.
Didn't sound great off the bat. We've seen a change mid-wicket coming over to fill the gap at backward point. Travis Bird shuffling across his stumps. He's tried to hit this over the leg side to the short boundary, and he's been caught by the man who made his way around from short fine leg, who was on the ring up on the leg side. Travis Burt offering plenty there. He looked like he was just about to get going. We mentioned the short side. That was what he was targeting. Cameron Gannon going full and wide. A slower ball, deceiving Burt, who's offered no more than a simple catch to the man at short fine leg. Steckity the catcher. Disappointing, Katie.
It is a little disappointing, yeah, especially as you said, as watching, you get a little bit excited with Birdie in there, especially that short boundary. You sort of thought you could see a couple really fly, but that's the game we play, unfortunately. Well, that you play, I just watch, but it's I guess, and it's very well set up. They brought the extra player in on the offside,
yep,
but tempting him to hit to that, go for that big six, and hoping exactly that has happened. So, well done by the Heat.
Well, it's a good plan, wasn't it? It was a good man. Clog up that shot. If you're going to go full and wide and bowl that Yorker length wide of off stump and you execute it, your only chance at a boundary is the squeeze that we saw Burt played wide of the man at backward square, and he received his boundary. They clogged that up. Gannon was able to execute the same delivery, and he got his man Travis Burt. Gannon to dunk this time. It's full and dunk, works it straight down the ground to mid-off. Evan Gulbis, the man in, and has ran that beautifully. Pushed the first hard.
Always going for two there. You heard them as soon as they took off. They were obviously realising now that any run here is just going to be really important in these last few overs.
Well, it's good from Evan Gulbis because I think as a new batter, sometimes you can be guilty of wanting to face your first ball and when you get some strike and feel bad on ball. But Gulbis obviously understanding where the game's at, pushed hard for two. Gannon to dunk again. Perfect Yorker length. Dunks tried to absolutely smash it through the onside, could do no more than get the toe into the bat, and they get a single as it dribbles out onto the ring. The man in deep forward square leg pushes in and fills it easily. One run.
We were hard on Gannon early with his shoes, but he's coming through the goods, isn't he? He's a couple of wickets now, so he might have made his point. We'll have to get back in our boxes and sort of a couple of big wickets. You can wear whatever shoes you like.
It was a very disappointing first over from Cameron Gannon, who didn't really weigh up the wicket. He bowled short on a slow wicket. He offered some width to Tim Payne, and you can't do that to any player at this level because you'll get dispatched. And to his credit, you're right, Katie, he's come back and fought well. 2.5 overs, 2 for 30. The last of his third over. He'll bowl at Evan Gulbis. Will face his first ball of the game. Slow ball, who been worked onto the onside just for the single. Goal was shaping to hit that straight down the ground high. Deceived by the slower ball, rolling his fingers on that. Cameron Gannon for one run to finish his third over. 2 for 31, a good fight back. 4 for 170, the Hurricanes at the end of the 16th over with 3 overs remaining.
You still think there's enough batting in this Hurricanes lineup to get to that 200 mark, especially with Ben Duncan and Evan Gulbis here at the moment. Even maybe push a little over, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you would hope so. You know, the push of the last 3 overs, it'll go one or two ways. You know, they'll lose some wickets and they'll sort of make their way to that high 180s, low 190s mark. Or, I mean, realistically, Ben Dunk needs to get some strike, doesn't he? You know, Evan Gulbis needs to be smart here. Either really go hard at the short boundary in his natural swinging arc to the leg side, or work a single and allow Ben Dunk to continue what he's doing. Dunk's 77 or 47 deliveries. It's been an outstanding innings. We're seeing Steckity bowling now to Gulbis, who does shape to hit through the leg side to that short boundary. He's able to work it down to long off for a single. Well bowled, Steckity.
It was interesting field as well that Heat had. It was almost, there were a lot of single options open. And obviously at this form of the game, you know, a single is almost a win, but you would think at this stage that to have Dunk on strike is a win for the Hurricanes. So be interesting to see here how much they do just push the single when Dunk's not on strike, and they just try and get the in-form man to stay in control of this game.
Well, Steketty's coming around the wicket to Dunk, so who used that angle to target the stumps, ensuring that Dunk has to hit to the long boundary. And Rick, do we know the actual length of that boundary? It'd have to be a good 90-metre hit for Dunk to hit a 6 on his leg side here. So Steketty away from us to Dunk, and it's a perfectly bowled Yorker. Was going to cannon into the stumps. Dunk gets a toe into the bat, and it goes slowly to the man at long on, and they'll get back for 2 comfortably. With this field, long on just a little bit wider for that almost a straight mid-wicket. Dunk's hitting up. We saw against the heat at the Gabba. He hit to that region of the ground so well. Steketty to Dunk. Full ball again. Leg stump line. Dunk hitting it hard out to Cameron Gannon. Will only be the one. Swinging hard though, Dunk. His intention's pretty clear. He's not too concerned about the 90-metre boundary. He still wants to clear it. He's backing himself, which is good.
It must be difficult just to try and set a field and to bowl to Ben Dunk at the moment. It just doesn't matter where you're bowling or what you're doing. He's making it just look so easy. If you move a fielder to plug a gap, then he's just hitting it wherever you've moved one from. So it must be pretty tough for the Heat, for James Hopes, but look, they're still trying things, which is great to see.
Dunk was really good that second last ball. He just hit it at half rat power deliberately and got 2 runs from a ball that was really well bowled defensively.
4 for 174. Steketty to Gorbis. Gorbis shaping for the lap sweep. It's well fielded by the man on the ring. He made good connection. It was well executed. The full ball was definitely hitting off stump. Gorbis getting good bat on it. 1 run, the result. Well bowled. Good cricket from everyone there. You like to see that. Gorbis able to execute. Steketty executing, and the man fielding there, Dan Vittori, just around the corner on the ring at a short fine leg, fielding it nicely.
I think you'll like to go for one soon in this over. I think Dunk will be looking to still get a boundary if he can. Well, off this Steketty over. He's
been impressive, Steketty, from what I've seen in the Big Bash. I like the way he goes about. He's a big lad. He's got really good mechanics. He delivers the ball at good pace. Again, hitting leg stump. Dunk hitting the ball hard to the man. That wide long on. He fields it well. Joe Burns, the man, well executed there from Steketty. 4 for 176. 1 ball remaining in the 17th.
They had a strong plan going into this over, like you said, but and just really sticking to it at Brisbane Heat. And it's fantastic when at a 2020 level when a bowler can, because it really, as you can probably vouch for, not a bowler's game, 2020 cricket.
Certainly not when you bowled at my pace, Katie, and lack of control, but Steketty's doing it nicely. Last ball of the over here to Gorbis, and he's bowled an old-fashioned beam ball. Well, that has raced for 4. For those of you listening that don't know what a beam ball is, that's when the ball doesn't bounce on the wicket and is aimed at the batsman's head, and it's an embarrassing delivery to bowl for the bowler for a couple of reasons, because it's a free hit now in the 2020 version of the game. It's a no ball, so Evan Gorbis can't be dismissed on the next ball, and you just do not see it at domestic level. That is remarkable. It's remarkable. He looked so good, didn't he? He was looking outstanding. That would have hit Evan Gorbis in the face. That is awful. He gets a second chance. Gorbis, thick outside edge. It was full and wide. It's going to be 4. Steketty pays the penalty. He'd promised so much in this over. He'd bowled well to Dunk. He'd executed to Gorbis. Offered a beam ball. The free hit goes for 4. The Heat players getting around him. Rod, down there, have we got you, mate? How did you see the beam ball there?
Coaching staff very happy with the outcome of those 2 balls. So the beam ball, he had to get out of the way quickly, but Captain Hurricanes emerged from the Hurricanes dugout and getting a great reception. Everything's going well for the Hurricanes at this stage, and Mascarenas, he's been warming up. He's got the pads on, but he's warming up with his bowling action, which I haven't seen before. But Aiden Blizzard or Mascarenas coming in next. I'm not quite sure which one will come in.
9 runs off that last ball, Brett.
9 runs off the last ball. Yeah. Disappointing for Steketty. Cameron Gannon gets his chance to Ben Dunk. It's fallen at the stumps. Dunk hits it hard. Again, that man at long on's wide. It goes straight, and they'll come back for 2. Smart from Evan Gorbis. He realises where the field is. Dunk hit it straight and firm. But with Gulbis running the first at good pace, he was able to come back comfortably. I'm still trying to come to terms with the beanball, Katie. You look
absolutely
a bit stunned yourself.
Well, we were just saying how you were a good over, and then it just all fall apart in one ball.
Well, that is disappointing for Gannon because he has executed that ball superbly. It was full and wide, hit the crease line. Dunk was swinging hard, aiming at the short boundary, inside edge past the right hand of Keyswetter, the keeper, and it's race for 4.
They're the ones we're talking about where these last couple of overs, batsmen are going to go for it. It's going to go one of either way. And as you say, absolutely perfectly executed by a bowler and total luck by the batsman where that's gone.
Could not have executed that any better, young Gannon. Dunk moves to 87 off 52 deliveries. That's a full toss from Gannon. He's hit it straight down deep mid-wicket's throat. A disappointing end because Ben Dunk was hitting the ball superbly. You would have thought a full toss at this stage of the innings was, particularly to the short side of the ground, Katie, was going the journey. Very disappointing for Ben Dunk. Cameron Gannon's fought back hard from his initial over. The Hurricanes now 5 for 191 deep into the 18th over.
It's one ball, but I reckon that'll be a very important last ball, last 2 balls that is of that last over now. Dunk out. You think they'll get just over 200, the Hurricanes. Right. But yeah, where it could have been, they could have been sitting at, what are they, at 180, just over 180 now. They're sitting at 190, and they'll just go for it from here on. So you think that Gulbis and Blizzard both have the ability just to hit some good boundaries here.
Hit them big, don't they? Rod, down to you quickly. Benny Dunk getting a standing ovation from the crowd.
All the players emerged from the Hurricanes dugout to stand and clap as he came off, and he's now being interviewed on television. He's very hot. He's sweating a lot, but boy, what a great innings.
He's been superb, Ben Dunk, no doubt about that. And there's no player in that Hurricanes team that loves a little bit of media time more than Ben Dunk at the moment. He's been offered the opportunity to speak as the boundary rider on the TV a few times, and he's taken it up. So he'll be loving that. Cameron Gannon now to Gulbis, who's coming round the wicket, a different play. He's bowling full and straight at the stumps. Gulbis attempting to smash it through the onside. Gets a little bit of bat onto pad. No, it's all pad for one leg by. So good plan there from Cameron Gannon, coming round the wicket, forcing Gulbis to hit to that leg side. As we said, Katie, it's a 90-metre boundary. So taking something special there, the new batsman, Aiden Blizzard, who hasn't really fired yet in this tournament. And he doesn't have a lot of time to do that tonight.
No, it's in you come and hit as hard as you can and get as many runs as quickly as you can in these last couple of overs.
Well, he's got 6 balls to make something happen. We're 5 for 192. Ben Dunk, the last man dismissed. 87 off 53 deliveries. Put on a masterclass. Tim Payne outstanding this innings as well for 47. Gannon to Blizzard, hit hard to that man on the ring at cover. And they'll get one run. Dan Vittori not really having to attack the ball there. It came to him at pace. But Ben Dunk, one word to describe his innings, Katie.
Awesome. Fantastic way to set up the Hurricanes again, as he has done many times this, in this BBL series. So, look, he's just a man in form, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been superb. 5 for 193. Gannon around the wicket to Gulbis. He's attacking the stumps again, and Gulbis gets a good piece of this straight down the ground. That's superb batting from Evan Gulbis. Well executed from young Gannon. It was a Yorker length. Gulbis went back into his crease, picked it up on the half volley and hit it straight back past him. Beautiful straight drive for 4 runs. I like the plan from Gannon. I love the execution from Gulbis. The score 5 for 197, and it's been an outstanding batting performance by the Hurricanes.
It really has, and that's what Payne and Dunk have done here. Have obviously got them in a great situation, but with these wickets in hand now, it allows Gulbis and Blizzard to have a go at these, and just get as many runs as you can. You're not worrying about losing a wicket at this stage of the game.
Sensational news, Brett. First time in BBL history that someone's been out for 87.
Is that right? Which is an unlucky number in Australian cricket, isn't it? We should have had legs off the ground, and there's all sorts of superstition surrounding the number 87. I thought you were going to say that the excellent news was Alex Johnson will be joining us in the halftime break, political reporter here in Hobart. Ryan Harris, the bowler, to Aiden Blizzard. It's a perfectly executed Yorker. Blizzard swinging hard, getting not a great deal of it to the man at cover who was on the ring, and they get 1 run. Yeah, Alex Johnson joining us. He's always good for a bit of human nuts, so I'm wondering what he's got up his sleeve.
We'll definitely have something for you, there's no doubt. You'll have some information about all... Have you two ever had hit a golf together?
We have, yep. Actually, we might have to talk about that. He beat me in a...
I was going to say, who gets the better?
Beat me in an official pennant game, Tasmania versus Northwest Bay. So we may have to bring that up.
He'll be upset that I brought it up before.
Right.
I'm sure he'd love to bring that up.
I'm actually a little upset you brought it up. But Ryan Harris running away from us, bowling to Evan Gulbis. It's well executed, wide of the off stump and full, hitting the crease. Gulbis getting a little bit of bat on it. It ran slowly to the man at deep mid-on, and he's run him out. No one saw that coming. Ryan Harris certainly didn't see it coming as he chases the ball out to deep square leg. What an outstanding piece of fielding there from the young man at long on. Smart batting from Blizzard. He ran hard. Gulbis didn't get a great piece of the ball, and it trickled slowly to the man at mid-on, who moved quickly. Direct hit from the boundary. Some outstanding work. That might be young Ben McDermott there, is it? Rick, who I actually thought it was Alistair McDermott playing in this game. It's his brother Ben. Promising young man, making his way through the ranks. So well bowled there from Harrison. I guess Gulbis doing what he needed to do there and coming back.
Absolutely, you're going to go for those at this stage of the game. Fantastic fielding work. The fielding by the Heat tonight has been good. Great catches in the outfield. A couple of really high ones that have been caught. And we have seen in these games that often it's the fielding that's made the difference. So even at this late in the game, very important run out.
Gulbis 12 off 8. Mascarenas, the new batsman. Harris to Gulbis. It's again executed well. Gulbis gets a good piece of it. Out of the middle of the bat, it races between the man at long on and deep forward square leg, and they come back for 2. No man on the ring at mid-wicket. He's being used as an extra man on the offside to clog up that squirt shot that we've seen being played between the backward point region. So any ball that goes onto the leg side is a chance at 2 runs. 6 for 201, the 200 up for the Hurricanes. Harris again, full toss to Gulbis. He's hit that very hard, flat, beautiful cricket stroke. 6 for 205. Ryan Harris won't be happy with that. Evan Gulbis received something he liked, a full toss. It was low, but he executed it beautifully. He hit it hard. We can see there on the replay that his initial movement was to go back. He knew that Harris was going full and straight. Gave himself the room required, got a full toss.
Highest total by a BBL team here, beating the Melbourne Stars, 203 in 11-12.
Thank you for that, Rick.
208 in the old state competition is the highest.
Brilliant.
By Tasmania.
Who scored the runs in that game?
Give me a minute.
I would have contributed in that some fashion, wouldn't I? Actually, we probably got beat. Did
Benito,
they chase them down?
Benito 95, we batted first, and we won by 85 runs.
Okay, right. And we did it easy. I would have 4
George Bailey, 60.
4 for 20 for me as Ryan Harris again runs away from us. Another full toss. He'll be absolutely shattered, Ryan Harris, because Evan Gulbis is receiving full tosses and he's smashing them. He's smashing them hard. He's facing Ryan Harris, who's been in unbelievable form throughout the Test series against England. One of the heroes in that series, but tonight he's just not quite getting it right.
And look, it's obviously what you've got to try and do in the last over of a 2020 game, but to execute it the way that the Gulbis is, this is fantastic.
6 for 209. Ryan Harris, back of length. Gulbis swings hard. The man under it, Dan Vittoria, went straight up. He takes a good catch. The last ball of the innings will fall for a wicket to Ryan Harris. Was smart batting. I think he knew that Evan Gulbis had a really good feel for what he was trying to do with his full straight deliveries. He coughed up a couple of full tosses that Gulbis had dispatched for boundaries. He went back of length and wide. Top edge from Gulbis. Dan Vittoria took a smart catch running back with the fly of the ball. 7 for 209 the end total for the Hobart Hurricanes. Set up by a magnificent innings of 87 from Ben Dunk. Well supported Tim Payne at the start, who Ben Dunk was supporting initially because Tim Payne was outstanding. Ben Dunk playing second fiddle to him, and then Dunk exploded. Some really impressive hitting from Evan Gulbis, 22 off 12 late in the piece, Katie.
The Hurricanes have done it again against the Heat. They've got a really good total here, and the Heat have a good a good bowling lineup. So it's interesting that the Hurricanes obviously just find them good to bat against. We did say this deck may just be holding up a little bit, so it's probably they needed a big total. But I think it's as a Hurricane fan, they've got themselves in a position, every chance to win this game from here.
We're just waiting on Rod to grab us with an interview. Just let us know, Rod, if you're able to grab someone down there. Very impressive work here, 7 for 209. We saw over 200 being the total at the Gabba. We spoke about that earlier. How do you see it panning out? Do you think that the Hurricane bowlers, without Ben Hilfenhaus tonight, who's out of the game with a hamstring injury, we're led to believe, do you think that impacts on the way the Hurricanes go about tonight? Evan Gulbis will come in and replace him possibly with a new ball. Yeah, look,
you'd think that it may play a part, but I think the way that Hurricanes have been bowling, I think they should be able to defend this. And I think, and obviously they'll go into the field with a lot of confidence that they can, which I think is important. So if they can, as I said, I think in 2020 more and more the fielding's just become so important. Just any catching opportunities they're going to have to take. But simple plan, if they can execute that, I think they'll get the win here and be looking forward to the finals.
I'm gonna give you some names, Katie, and I want you to tell me if they strike some fear into you. Craig Keyswetter.
Yeah, I've seen some of the older ones that I've seen really take to Tassie before, probably more times, and Hobart, that probably worry me more.
So who's of concern, do you think?
I tell you, it's one. I reckon Ben Cutting could really let loose. It worries me a little bit.
Can I throw in Chris Lynn?
Chris Lynn, Rick. He's hit the most boundaries in the BBL this year.
Yep.
So he's obviously a danger man.
He'd be a bit worried. Look, they are, like you say, I'm not happy about Kerswetter being there. Palmer's Bash, he could do anything, couldn't he?
Yep.
As we know, he could win this game in 15 overs if he really, he's someone who could do that.
He is capable of anything, and I'll share with you a very quick story. He bought his passport to Hobart thinking that he would need that to get into the state. So that's what Luke Pomsbach is capable of. But
hopefully he won't have to think about it too much when he's out there. Then he'll just get to see the ball, hit the ball, and he'll.
I'm really keen to see young Ben McDermott, who's he had a terrific under-19 carnival. He's a promising young player, brother of Alistair, who normally represents for the Heat. He's out tonight, but young Ben gets his chance. Of course, son of Craig McDermott, Australian fast bowler and now fast bowling coach for Australia. So I'm looking forward to watching him. And are we throwing down to Rod, who I think may have an interview for us?
Not yet.
You're still chasing him down there, Rod.
Yeah, so all ensconced in the box at the moment.
And what's the feel from the crowd down there, Rod? What are you gauging? Are they all thinking that we're home and hosed here, the Hobart Hurricanes?
Yes, I think so. Very confident at this stage. I might be able to get Ben Dunk here.
Geez, if you can get Ben Dunk, that'd be one of the great catches of all time.
A couple of quick words, Ben. Another Hurricanes home game and another great innings by Ben Dunk. Well done, Ben.
Thank you very much. It's brilliant to see so many supporters out tonight. I mean, we haven't probably played our best cricket so far in the tournament, but it's just brilliant to see everyone still getting behind us.
And 209, is it enough on a beautiful Hobart night?
I certainly hope so. If it's not, well, we're out of the tournament, so it just has to be tonight. We need to put in a good polished bowling and fielding performance, and I think it will be enough, yeah.
And how was the wicket? Was it a bit slow to start off with?
Yeah, a touch. I thought our batters read the situation pretty well, and we got through that little difficult period from 11 to 15 when they took the pace off the ball, and we kept wickets in hand, which allowed us to really launch at the end.
And how do you come down from the high of having two great innings in Hobart in a row?
I'll certainly come down pretty quickly if we lose, that's for sure. So if we win, I've got a couple of days to really enjoy it, but if we don't, I'll hit rock bottom, that's for sure.
Ben Dunk, thanks very much. Edge Radio 99.3 FM.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks, Ron. I was going to just get you to ask Benny Dunk. He owes me $65 for some coaching I gave him the other week, actually the week before the Big Bash League. So without taking claim for the fact that Ben Dunk's the leading run scorer and I gave him some words of advice before the tournament, we'll leave that one untouched. I think Rick Finlay's got a stat for us.
Yeah, just an interesting fact here that in the first match between these two, the Brisbane Heat got 209 and we chased them down.
That's right. That's right. So what are you thinking, Rick?
I think we can defend 209.
We can defend 209. Are you a betting man?
No.
Probably for the best. Now, joining us, we did mention that the great Alex Johnston, local political reporter for Southern Cross News, was joining us tonight, and here he is sitting beside me. Alex, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Brett.
I'm just trying to get my head around what it is that you're actually doing here. I don't mean to be rude, but you have no real sporting prowess at all.
That's true, but I'm a Hobart man about town, and they've brought me in just to run my eye over proceedings out here at Blunston Arena, and it's a big crowd, and it's to the crowd's credit that they turn out in force tonight, because it would be very easy to sit on your couch in your track pants and watch it on commercial TV and eat a box of Cheezels, but to make the trip over and try and find a park somewhere in the Bellreeve vicinity and make the effort to come down to the ground. I think if anyone's listening on their transistor, congratulations for putting in.
Very good words, Alex. You do know how to win over a crowd. What are your thoughts so far? 7 for 209 from the Hobart Hurricanes. We spoke to Ben Dunk before, who feels it's enough.
Some really handsome batting from Duncan Payne at the top of the order. They set the foundations, used the short boundary pretty well. Brisbane bowled some pus, and it's a very, very competitive total.
Do you think pus is an appropriate term to use on a radio broadcast?
I'm
running with no. But if you want to tweet in, #EdgeBBL, and let us know if pus is... That's just not a good word, Alex.
It's a very emotive word, isn't it? It's almost an onomatopoeia. No, but the first two balls that they bowled to Payne, short and outside off stump with a short boundary, I mean, that's fourth grade sort of stuff, isn't it?
It was, that was young Cameron Gannon in his first over, and he has actually been outstanding in this BBL. He's been one of the true highlights and finds for the Brisbane Heat. But tonight,
I know.
He did, you're right, he got it wrong. He fought back well and came back nicely.
He's taken a lot of wickets in this
with a couple
series.
of wickets. He's been terrific. Now, being the political reporter from based here in Hobart, the election's been called. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's nice to be thinking about cricket instead of politics for just a couple of hours, but I think the election's a little bit like this game of cricket. There's a team that the crowd probably expects to win, but just like cricket, politics is a very funny game, and if Labor or the Heat bowl well, they might just be able to restrict the favourites. What do you think?
I thought Labor were just done and dusted. I thought that they were done. Is that not the case?
Well, they freed themselves up by getting rid of the Greens. That romance is over, and so they think they've got some clean air now to articulate why they need another term. It would be they won in 98, 2002, 2006, tied in 2010, and they want to win again.
Rick, have we got any stats on local politics that you can provide us?
Politicians playing cricket?
No,
not for a while.
Just in general.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Hare Clark is about as difficult to work out as Duckworth Lewis, isn't it?
I was just trying to get you involved, Rick. But now tell me something, Alex. Where does your vote sway? Are you actually allowed to talk about that?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not?
No.
Okay.
I can't even remember who I voted for last time.
Did you vote?
Yeah, definitely. I love voting, but
because you may have just sunk yourself in for a $100 fine from the...
No, I vote every time. I voted below the line in the Senate. You've got to go through 50 odd. No, I always vote, but I don't know who I'll vote for this time. Hans Willink, have you seen his signs out and about? I'm in Denison.
I like his work.
Where there's a Willink, there's a way. Maybe I'll give him a sneaky little number one vote.
Big fan of an awful slogan, which is good. Now, Katie brought up, you are a golf player, and you do play it well. And
semi-retired
and we've played a little bit together, and we're off very different handicaps. But there was a pennant game at Tasmania, Div 2. I was home and hosed. 3 under after 3 holes. I was 3 up. I was coasting. What happened?
Well, we both had an egg and bacon roll before we teed off at about 8:15 in the morning, which set us off on a very even keel. And you birdied 3 of the first 5, and you were 4 up after 5, and you really had a strut about you. Your teammates were saying, "How many up, Brett?" And you were putting 4 fingers up, and you were thinking about, this will be 8 and 7. We'll be in for, our fourth or fifth
egg and bacon roll.
Egg and bacon roll. And then I knuckled down and really started looking like a young Craig Parry out there on the Tasmanian links. Started hitting greens, holing putts, and I won 2 up. And I have to ask you, have they repaired the bunker, the new bunker you created in the middle of the green on the 16th
I'm
green?
going to have to cut you short there, unfortunately, Alex, because even though your story is true, we've got Cameron Boyce down with Rod.
Cameron, Edge Radio 99.3 FM. You've been in the studio with Edge Radio. What's the feeling? 209 runs? Is it enough?
Oh, it's going to have to be, I think. Boys are feeling pretty good, so we just need a big effort with the ball now and in the field, and we should be sweet.
And what's the challenge for a young leg spinner on a night like tonight? Is there a bit of dew about? Do you think the ball will be hard to grip?
Oh, it might be a little bit, but we'll just see how we go. I'm going to be ripping it, so we get.
And were you disappointed you didn't get in to crack a few sixes at Blunston Arena?
I don't think I can hit it that far, mate, so I'm pretty happy to just sit down and watch the rest of the boys do it. So.
And so if the Hurricanes win tonight, into the finals, just like the Richmond Tigers.
Exactly right, mate. So the Tigers are going to be on top, so we're going to have to follow them.
Well said, well said. Edge Radio 99.3 FM. Thanks very much, Cameron Boyce.
Thanks, mate.
Rod Hunt, one of the true gentlemen of Hobart. Just a beautiful guy. He'll happily tell you who he'll vote for in the election, I bet, if you ask him when you cross next.
Rod, who are you voting for down there?
You don't have to say, Rod. The good guys, Rod.
The good guys, that's right.
Yeah.
Good answer.
He's doing a beautiful job down there on the boundary line. So much more refined than, say, a Robert Dippier Domenico. He's very silky down there, Rod Hunt, at the moment.
Well, it's probably a good place sending Rod down, because obviously Katie being George's brother, George Bailey's brother, she probably wouldn't feel comfortable down there. And I'm no longer allowed actually on the arena at Blunston, so which is disappointing. There was an incident, and I'm actually doing well to be in the ground.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I had to scale the fence.
I've heard that it's not always easy.
So don't tell anyone I'm here.
You skip Clarence home games.
Yeah, don't tell anyone I'm here. But now, most importantly, this game of cricket, Alex, we've talked politics, you've told some fibs about my golf. What is going to happen? Tell us the storyline of the next 20 overs.
Well, they've got to bowl very, very well, and especially in the first couple of overs. I mean, if they have them less than 6 and over after 4, I think that's game over. Red Rover, pack up your bags. We're going to the finals, and Jesse Hogan, Sports Scribes, buying me dinner next Tuesday at Written on Tea in Sandy Bay. And I think the keys to the bowling attack, of course, split of 55. It's got to bowl full. I like those full tosses. He bowls outside off stump. And here come the Hurricanes onto Blunston Arena. I'm joined. Brett's disappeared. Ben Waterworth's joined me up here in the box. I'm a special guest for just a few minutes more as the Hurricanes run out to Sparks. It's like New Year's Eve all over again, Ben Waterworth.
Oh, and tell you one thing, aren't the sparks flying here in the commentary box? Ladies and gentlemen, comedy stylings of Alex Johnson and Brett G. It's absolutely brilliant. Alex, thank you very much for joining us here in the box. Fantastic to have you here on board. And finally, let's end it. Can the Hurricanes win it?
Yes, the Hurricanes will win this game. I don't think Brisbane will get anywhere near this total, and we'll be into the finals, and you never know, it could be a little miracle. Very reluctant to give up these headphones. They're keeping my ears toasty and warm. You have a good call, Ben.
Thank you very much.
I'm getting the sign that we can stick
and hang on a minute. You've been given the permission to stay here, Alex.
Just for a minute or two.
I tell you what, you've been given the mantle. I will actually take this opportunity to say, once again, the SMS line 0427 334 336 if you wish to go on the draw to win the Blunston prize pack. Hashtag EdgeBBL on Twitter. And we have been getting some beauties in on both Twitter and on the phone. I just want to
Twitter's quite popular, isn't it?
Very popular.
The kids love the tweet.
I don't think it's just the kids as well. I think some of the grown-ups have started to get into it as well, and they've been absolutely brilliant and on the ball. Just a couple of the messages I want to read here. I made cupcakes today. As I proceeded to remove them from the oven, they had collapsed in the middle. I then thought to myself, I hope this isn't a sign for the Hurricanes' middle order collapsing. So that's a pretty, futuristic predicting...
Cooking omen there. No, I don't think there's going to be any falling in the middle here.
We will go and
Doug
read some of these
Bollinger
ones as well.
is going to open up here, Ben. He's just measuring out his run-up, and he's enjoying his time at Hobart. I saw him in Salamanca the other day. Boy, he looked like he was having a very relaxing afternoon. The sun was out, and it was a real treat for these guys who don't normally spend quality time at Hobart to come down here during the BBL and enjoy some of our watering holes.
How is the rug looking down there at Salamanca?
I don't want to comment on that.
Don't want to comment on the rug?
He's got a lot more hair than I do.
Well,
and he's a lot bigger, and he is blood clots, unlike mine, being a severe haemophilia. So Doug Bollinger 3, me 0, and I won't say anything derogatory about him at all.
Oh, I tell you what, this is turning into a very interesting coverage this evening as Dougie Bollinger kicks things off from the Church Street end to start the bowling for the Hobart Hurricanes. And straight away, dot ball as a drive attempted on to the offside. And no run taken. That, of course, is Mr. Luke Pommersbach opening for the Brisbane Heat and Craig Keysvetter as well. Very good opening partnership. These two very capable of putting the runs on the board, Alex.
Yes, Ben, I think my comment about my bleeding disorder is I've finally run out of chances here in the box. I'm getting the hurry along. I'll call one last ball. Bollinger in, and it's high on the pad. A half-hearted appeal. Umpire doesn't raise his finger. Ben, enjoy this. Go Hurricanes.
I will indeed. You nearly got a wicket there, Alex. You nearly brought some luck for Dougie, as currently none for none, the Brisbane Heat. And that ball did pitch just a little bit higher on the pads, and right to be called there from Dougie as I welcome back into the box Mr. Michael Tame. And Alex Johnston, I believe, will be performing at a local comedy club near you. Absolutely hilarious there as Dougie Bollinger in to Luke Pommersbach. Oh, wow, into the gut. That one's got to hurt. They get a single. It's gone on to the leg side. And Dougie Bollinger, very aggressive straight away here, Mike.
He's pulled out all stops. I think that's a good thing. Put a bit of pressure on the batsman, unlike their bowlers in the early stages of the game.
And that is going to leave a bruise. I'll tell you one thing, Luke is going to wake up tomorrow morning and all he's going to remember from Hobart is that he wore an ice pack to sleep, I think.
Let's hope he remembers our loss as well.
Well, we'll hope for that as we get along here. Brisbane none for one as Dougie Bollinger continues from the Church Street end. And we're going to see here Craig Keysvetter facing his first delivery. Of course, the wicket keeper for the Brisbane Heat. Dougie wants to get his fielding positions correct first of all before he continues now from the Church Street end to Keysvetter. Bollinger bowled and a swing and a miss on to the offside. And great delivery there by Doug. Stares down Keysvetter as well at the end of that one. Doug's here to play.
He's got the pace of the wicket. He's bowling the right line.
Bowled a maiden the other night, I believe, in Melbourne as well.
Yes,
it's rare to see those. Rare as hen's teeth in 2020 cricket, and he would love to bowl a couple of those at the moment. 2 more deliveries remaining this over, and he's only gone for 1 run so far. So if he keeps this up, that will be still a very good start as Bollinger comes in now and bowls to Keysvetter, who drives that one on to the onside, and a quick single is taken, and the Brisbane Heat move to a none for 2.
Did you notice, Ben, the very European nature of this opening partnership?
I'm struggling with the pronunciations already, as I've sort of gone on the Steckety earlier, and now we've got Pommersbach and Keysvetter. I think we might be at the Winter Olympics all of a sudden. We're in Sochi. Have we
they're not far away, Ben.
But yeah, indeed.
I haven't seen any snow tonight, though, so that's a bonus.
That is a very bonus. Beautiful night here in Hobart. Not a snow cloud within a couple of 1,000 kilometres, I think, as Dougie Bollinger for the final delivery to Pommersbach. Swing, another miss, and it's called a wide, though, on to the leg side, and that very close, that one.
The only blot, still. So they picked up the pace of this wicket very early. He's bowling just back of a length, so the batters are having to play a little bit out of their comfort zone, I think. That was a good thing. If we can restrict them to like 20 or 30 less in this power play than what we got, I think we'll be in a good chance.
It was a very close decision just watching the replay there. I think a bit harsh probably on Dougie to be called a wide as he now for the final delivery. And a big swing and a miss, advanced down the wicket there by Pommersbach, and that is the end of the over. That was a massive swing. I felt the breeze from that one up here, I think, Mike. And the end of the first, Brisbane Heat. None for 3. Good start by Doug there, Rick.
The least expensive over of the match so far, 3 runs.
That is what Hobart would be wanting straight away. Big total, 209. Obviously, deja vu, 209 Brisbane had that Hobart had to chase back at the Gabba early this season.
I think it might have been 208, Rick. We chased down.
I'll have a look. I thought they got 209. I'll just check that again.
Either way, deja vu though, with 208, 209, very close in the scores there.
I think that scoreboard pressure is going to tell. Yeah, that means they're having to score, 10 plus an over. So they've gone on over with only 3 runs. So the pressure's on the batters, and they're not. That's not a good cricket shot there. Well bowled by Doug.
209, as in Brisbane.
There you
Exactly the
go,
same.
deja vu.
Deja vu.
Dimitri Mascarenhas now to come on from the River End, and I like the look of this Mascarenhas. Of course, broke his jaw before this season even started. Looked like he wouldn't even play a game, but called in to place the out of form Shah, of course, and decent effort the other night against the Stars, it has to be said.
Oh, good. Very good. I mean, he's been out of the game for a little while, as you said, but he changes his pace quite well. He's quite a tricky bowler to handle. He can sort of zip it up to 125, 130, and then bring it back, inside 95, 100. So he's a tricky bowler to handle.
Mascarenhas comes in now from the River End to Kieswetter, who just tries to cut that one onto the offside, and a single is taken. And obviously, it's all about the runs here for Brisbane, Michael. They need to keep the runs flowing.
They need to get off to a good start like we did. But what I'm impressed with already is the intensity of the fielding, the Hurricanes fielding. They're running to meet the ball, and those ones are not being turned into twos.
We saw the Hurricanes do very well between the wickets in their innings. A lot of twos, which potentially could have been ones. It's sort of the opposite situation. Still very early days, though. We're only in the second over here as Mascarenhas continues from the River End, bowling to Luke Pommersbach. Oh, and a big swing and a miss, and I thought that hit the stumps. I think everybody else thought that hit the stumps too. You could hear that through the effects, Mike. They're close.
That looked like it might have been a nick behind.
Yep, dropped.
So Payne's he's dropped him.
Standing up.
That's what I say. He's hard to manage, not only from the batter's perspective, but also from the keeper's.
Oh, that is very close. Looks like it came sort of on the pads there as well. It seemed to hit everything, but Tim Payne unfortunately couldn't hang on to that one. As Mascarenhas continues to Luke Pommersbach, who has a big swing onto the leg side, and that is a six. That is into the southern stand, into the Purple Army over there. That was a nice shot, and Brisbane need to get moving, and getting a six early on, that's what they need.
Unfortunately, the ball before, though, we've seen a drop catch. That could be costly.
He's looking dangerous with a shot like that, Luke Pommersbach. We know he can hit them, and he's looking already around onto his leg side. He's looking towards that building site area. Those tradies have been put to work this evening as Mascarenhas in to Pommersbach, and this time he gets it onto the offside. No run taken, brilliantly fielded inside the circle, and dot ball, none for 10. The Brisbane Heat here at the moment. Are you superstitious, Mike? 209, same score as Brisbane,
Not in the least. I think it's all about execution. We alluded to that before. If they execute the plan as a bowlers, we'll be in the game.
There's a big swing onto the leg side. They look for two. It's just gone outside the circle, but Pommersbach says no. I'm not going to get two there, and only a single taken. Brilliantly fielded by the Hobart Hurricanes, number 11, and that means there is one remaining delivery here of the Dimitri Mascarenhas over.
Again, good intention by the fielders. He came off the boundary then and met that ball, restricted that to one.
Mascarenhas for the final delivery here of the second over to Kieswetter, who has a big swing and attempted stumping, but it's called a wide. Tim Payne quick onto that one, ripped the bails off, but looks like Mascarenhas will have to have another one here because it has been called a wide. Big swing and a miss there, and quick to get those bails off Payne, but unfortunately the wide was called. Wouldn't have been out anyway, as Mascarenhas in now for the final delivery once again. And the call for catch just over the top of Mascarenhas' head. They'll run for a quick single, and they will get it balled back to Payne, and at the end of the second, none for 13. Drop catch, as I was saying there, Mike, could come back to haunt the Hurricanes.
Let's hope not, and that was a good ball there. He deceived the batter with pace, so he went at the shot and just chipped it, so that was a very good ball again.
Now, of course, the Hobart Hurricanes did chase down the 209 that Brisbane set, and that was a record for the Big Bash. So Brisbane do chase this down this evening. They'll equal the record for a run chase. So a lot more to get this evening than they had to back in last year's game.
Exactly. But this is a good bowling start.
Dougie Bollinger now from Church Street end to Kieswetter, and Kieswetter smooths around in his wicket, blocks that one onto the leg side, and is fielded and no run taken.
Again, good line by Dougie.
He's looking very aggressive here, Doug. He's a decent Big Bash 03.
He's been a very handy bowler. He comes in with a lot of aggression, bowls with good pace, and he's a wicket taker.
bit stiff to miss out on the South Africa tour, do you think?
I think there's a few bowlers who are well in front of him at this point in time.
Bollinger continues from the Church Street end to Keysberger, who just pads that one on to the leg side. They'll look for 2 here, and they will go for 2. It's fielded just outside the circle and brilliantly run in between the wickets there, and 2 easily in the end. Tim Payne just gets the ball there, and the Brisbane Heat moves to none for 15. Again, as we keep saying, it's what they need. They need these fast 2s. If they can turn a single into a 2, if they can't get those boundaries, it's all about getting the runs on the board.
I think the Hurricanes have got to look to what happened in the first innings, and if they can cut down on those 2s, they could save 20 runs in the field. Could be the difference between a win and a loss here.
Doug Bollinger continues. Keysberger is currently on 5 runs, and he moves it slightly to the left, gets it on to the onside, and no run taken there. You hear the crowd there clapping Dougie Bollinger, who's bowling brilliantly. Rod, how are the Hurricanes reacting down there on the bench to Dougie's start? We all know a win for either team sends them to the Big Bash League finals to play the undefeated Melbourne Stars, as Dougie Bollinger once again bowls, and slower ball on to the offside, and a single taken between the wickets. Brisbane Heat now none for 16. Just reminding you, of course, 0427 334 336. Getting some great text messages tonight. Another one earlier we got was great to hear local people doing live Big Bash cricket. Go the Purple Army. Let's make the finals. 3 wins and we are Big Bash League champions for 2014.
What had happened last year when the Heat, they came from 4th.
Did indeed. Sounds so simple on paper, of course. As Dougie Bollinger continues now to Luke Thomas-Bark, who sweeps that one onto the leg side and has found the gap, and that is 4. Just in front of the scoreboard there, and a much-needed boundary. The first of the Brisbane Heat's innings, and that moves them now up to none for 20. Rick, what is the record opening partnership between these two? Do you have that statistic at all on hand?
I'll get back to you.
Thank you very much. Again, putting Mr. Rick Finlay to work.
That's one of Dougie's worst balls there. Been bowling such a good line. You can set a field when you bowl a good line like that, but you bowl a short ball, and only one man out on that leg side to protect that boundary.
Bollinger, the final delivery over to Thomas-Bark. He just blocks that one onto the offside and claps from the Hurricanes, and that's the end of the over. None for 20 the end of 3. Run rate sitting at 7.06, required at the moment of 11.1. Good start by the Hurricanes.
Great start. As I say, the trouble is you can't afford to have a bad ball early up, because with the field up, one bad ball you can put it away easily. But Dougie, I'm impressed with Doug's line at the minute. Bowling straight, it gives the captain a bit of confidence to set his field and restrict those runs.
Back to your question, Ben, Matthew Hayden and Andrew Robinson got 100 in the first year of the BBL, but they've only been averaging 14.9 in their opening spans.
Mascarenas continues to Keysberger, who gets that one onto the leg side, just past the fielder. They'll look for 2. They should easily get 2, possibly 3 if they're brave enough. They're not going to be, and that is well run, number 22 there. Matty Hayden, of course, we knew could hit that back in the first Big Bash, and Brisbane Heat aside, that the reigning champions, of course. We needn't forget that, Mike.
No, that's what I say. I think they're a side that we've got to watch. Even though we've got a lot of runs on the board, still a possibility. A couple of guys get starts. Keysberger
here on 8, facing now Dimitri Mascarenas. And he just blocks that one straight up to Mascarenas, and
got a little bit of jump off the pitch then. As I say, the ball before 113 Ks. This ball 118 Ks. So he's just shifting his pace around a bit. It makes it hard for the batter to get a bit of a line on him.
Mascarenas continues once again to big swing, call for a catch. It's not going to reach the field, and no run taken. It was just gone behind the wicket, past the slip, and dot ball though. Mascarenas puts a hands on the head, but I don't think that one was going to carry quite enough to the fielder there.
I think it might be pushing down. I don't know if they're going for the LBW or the catch, but certainly pushing down leg side if it was going for LB.
Good over here by Dimitri Mascarenas as he continues once again to Keysberger, who this time blocks it onto the leg side and a quick single taken. The Brisbane Heat now move to none for 23. Bit of a lull in the crowd here at the moment. Rod, have you sensed that out there? The crowd's a little bit quiet at the moment?
Well, they're certainly looking to see how it's going to develop at this stage. So yeah, there is a bit less noise, a bit less crowd noise, a bit less banging of the Hurricane sticks hearing earlier on.
Take a wicket here and they'll set the Blunston Arena light, of course, as Dimitri Mascarenhas comes into bowls to Luke Hobart. Big swing call for catch, but it's over Mascarenhas' head, and this should race to the boundary for 4. No, it's brilliantly fielded just in front of the southern stand. You can hear the crowd cheering there. That was well run from Malik. He is a man who has found his legs this evening. Did take 2. The Brisbane Heat now none for 25.
Didn't really get the full width of the bat on that. He got a toe edge on that. That's why it travelled not quite so fast. The fielder was able to come around and pick that up quite comfortably.
Shoaib Malik's hit the gym, I think, in the last couple of days since they got back from Melbourne. He's looking fast out there.
What did he hit it with?
Well, there's another debate. As Mascarenhas comes in and bowls the final delivery of his over to Thomas Bark, who gets that one behind him onto the leg side for a boundary. And that is a great shot. He read that one perfectly, and much needed boundary to close that over out.
Yeah, I think swinging across the line a bit here. The pressure's telling me. One bad ball and over, but still the run rate still required is up around double figures, so the pressure's on the batters here.
Now we'll be having a change here in the commentary box shortly. Brett Jeeves coming back into the box. I'm looking forward to hearing some more golfing stories if you can tell them in between hand. They were great. Makes me want to pick up a club or two and go out golfing with the boys there. That was fun. As we've got a change up here. Looks like Evan Golbus is getting ready to have a bowl, and it's an interesting change up here. See much of Golbus ball at all before?
No, well, obviously he didn't play the last game with Hilfenhaus in, but with Hilfy injured, he's a chance to make a name for himself here. He did well with the bat. Let's hope he can do well with the ball. He's bowling on that short side, the construction wing there, if you like.
From the Churchfield end to Keysbetter, who gets that one onto the leg side, and that will be a boundary straight in front of the construction zone. He knew where he wanted that, put it there, bang, 4 runs.
Yes, this is we did talk about this before. The execution, the plan's all good, execution's important.
Now, of course, Evan Golbus came on the Brink last year, I remember, and slight resemblance to Formula 1 driver Kimi Räikkönen, and he loved that doppelganger, I will say. Inspired him to possibly take a career in motor racing after he's finished cricket, as he comes in now and bowls to Keyswetter, who gets that one behind him this time onto the leg side, and that is a lucky shot. Another boundary right between the gap, and all of a sudden Brisbane Heat have found some runs.
No, that's not good bowling here. He's got his field set straight on the offside, and he's picked out two balls. He's punched on the leg side, and he's taken full toll of that.
Now
he's got to bring his line across to the other side there.
Evan Golbus, will say, formerly of the Carlton Cricket Club, and as 2 men in this commentary box are fans of the greatest AFL team on the planet, I hope he does go for them too. We'll have to find that out as Golbus continues in to Keyswetter, who this time just gets that one onto the onside. A quick run between there, offside, and single taken, none for 38. The Brisbane Heat run rate sitting just under 9. They need 11 and over at the moment, but I'm sure they'll be happy with this start at the moment.
Much better line there. See, much better line with the batter. He's had to force it away for a single. That's the desired line, just short of that length.
A bit of a lull continues around here. Blunston Arena on a beautiful Hobart evening. Absolutely incredible night as Golbus continues from that Church Street end into Palmer's Bark. Gets that one onto the leg side, and that's going to go to the boundary once again. Expensive over here for Evan Golbus as the Brisbane Heat move to none for 42. Talking about replacing Ben Hilfenhaus, who'd been a little bit expensive in some of his overs. This is not what Evan Golbus wanted.
No, he's been out of the side for a while, so it might take him a little while to get on side here. But he's got a left and right hand batter, and unfortunately he hasn't picked the right line. 3 balls leg side, 3 fours.
Homage back on 22 at the moment, who advances down the wicket, attempts a straight drive that one, but it's fielded just inside the circle on the offside. No run taken. Brilliant bit of fielding there by the Hurricanes. Number 42, the Brisbane Heat, getting ready for a change-up in the commentary box. Brett Jeeves feel very honoured to be sitting in a seat that a man of such stature as Brett Jeeves will follow after me here.
And golfing prowess.
Look, Adam Scott. Who's he? Well, Brett Jeeves, I've heard of him. As Evan Cole was the last delivery of this over to Pomersbach, who again moves down the wicket, onto the leg side, straight in the gap for another boundary. Moves into number 46 at run rate, creeping up. Very expensive over there for Golbus, and definitely one that the Brisbane Heat needed.
Oh, yes, I think we should think about taking the pace off the ball here.
17 off the over on there, Malik. It's put the Brisbane Heat right back into the game
back
again.
Into the play.
And in fact, this is their best start that they've had this season, so they'll be very happy with this, but beating their previous
And still
best
no
of 30.
wickets down either, so they put the pressure back on us again.
This Edge Radio coverage of the Hobart Hurricanes KFC Big Bash League match is brought to you with the assistance of Blunston and Cricket Tasmania.
And we welcome Brett Jeeves back into the box.
Thank you, Wack. Now, what was the word that Alex Johnston used before that was a little inappropriate?
Puff.
Dimmy Mascarenhas bowling just wide of the off stump. Beautiful hands. I cannot believe that has gone for 4. I wasn't even going to call it, Wack. I just thought it was 1 into the offside, and it's raced through that gap for 4 runs. Dimitri Mascarenhas bowls at low 110s.
He can pick it up. He can bowl that sort of, 120.
Keyswetter just opening the blade beautifully and finding that gap on the offside. Perfect batting from Keyswetter.
That's very
And we've just seen a little bit of test match cricket there. Mascarenhas hitting a beautiful length. Keyswetter offering a beautiful forward defence. But no, I think the word that Alex Johnston used was pus. Awful word, and sadly,
I think I'll go with my puff.
I think Evan Gulbis may have been listening, because his first offering of an over was along similar lines. Not great from him. Mascarenhas, his third ball, and it looks to be a caught behind or a bowl. Caught behind. We didn't see the flashing zinger lights, but beautiful line and length from Mascarenhas. It pitched, hit the seam, went slightly off the seam. Beautiful little nick through to Tim Payne, who gloved it nicely. And Keyswetter is on his way. He was starting to look very dangerous. Good bowling from Mascarenhas. Nice bit of seam. He's just starting to really look dangerous, Keyswetter, and Mascarenhas gets the man for the Hurricanes. 1 for 50.
Low 110s, you said, but still a handy little deviation there, just right in the gloves of Payne. Pity he couldn't have been Pomersbach in that couple of overs before, because he looks the man to be between us and a win here. He looks like he's hitting the ball very well.
Both very dangerous players. I remember that 6 in the first game that Keyswetter hit off Hilton House that hit the second tier of the grandstand of the Gabba, and it was absolutely enormous. Keyswetter dismissed tonight for 22 off 18 deliveries. Caught Payne, bowled Mascarenhas.
We're going to need this. This has slowed the run rate down here a tad. But they're still under pressure. They're still requiring that double figures and over in order to maintain. So,
well, the new batter in Burns isn't a huge striker of the ball. He's a crafty player, has good hands, likes the pace on the ball. You get the feeling that Mascarenhas may just tighten him up here. Bowls now to Burns, who offers an open blade and plays it to backward point off the back foot for no run. I actually like Mascarenhas bowling to Burns early, because as we saw there, he's a handsy player, likes to find the gaps. If he's got no pace, Wack.
That's exactly right. He's taking the pace off the ball. It means he's got to force all the pace there and potentially make a mistake.
Mascarenhas from the river end to Burns is full and straight. Burns, an inside edge that goes to Bollinger at short fine leg. Well filtered for no run. Burns was trying to work that through mid-wicket, found the inside edge and squirted between his bat and the body through to Doug, who did nicely.
So I think Golbus might have a breather this next over, do you suggest?
I think you might be right. Although to the new batter, it might be an opportunity to squeeze one in and hopefully get away with it. Mascarenhas again. Yeah! Oh, it's great, he's bowled him!
Brilliant, brilliant.
That is magic bowling from Mascarenhas. He got one to nibble away to Keyswetter. That one has come in sharply. That has seamed sharply. It's hit middle and leg stump. That is genius bowling from Mascarenhas.
Very
absolutely superb.
Oh, that'll boost their hopes.
Joe Burns, the man dismissed, he has received the type of delivery you would expect in Test match cricket.
He's done it all here, hasn't he? He's ducked one away to sort of catch the outside edge of the first batter, and now he's just snuck one back inside. Beautiful bit of work.
That is genius stuff. The beautiful thing about what Dimmy Mascarenhas, other than sharing the name of my favourite food, I do like a Dimmy Whacker, but he just puts the ball...
I haven't heard of it, Mascarenhas, before. Where do you get those from?
From your local store.
Isn't that a dance?
You have to ask nicely. But he puts the ball in the right spot and he presents a seam, and as you know, if you put the ball in the spot and you get touch of movement, you're in the game. A little bit of deviation, and it's a good job for Payne keeping up. I know he's only sort of, mid-1 teens, but still, you could saw that first one that he dropped. He just didn't get a handle on it, because it's hard work keeping up to a bowler of that sort of pace.
Showing tonight what the Hurricanes have missed with him being injured for those matches early in the season.
Absolutely.
Just if we'd had him earlier.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Burns.
He just solidifies that bowling in the middle order and takes a bit of pressure off some of the other top line bowlers.
Burns bowled for a duck. Change of bowler, you were right. Gulbis off. Cameron Boyce, the leg spinner in. Well flighted delivery. Thomas back using his feet well.
I think this is a good move. You take these. Obviously, we've got a slow bowler here, not a lot of pace on the ball. So it means that Thomas Batch has actually got to make the pace as well. And a new batter, a right-hander as well, so we're ducking the ball away.
I like Boyce in this form of the game. He's not afraid to float it up. We heard him speaking to Rod before the Hurricanes bowling innings, and he said, I'm going to rip him. What happens, happens.
Well, he picked up a couple of wickets. Good line there.
Beautiful pitching, middle and leg, turning away at a nice speed. He's really giving the ball an opportunity to spin. We see quite often the spinners bowl it just a little bit too quickly, a little bit defensively. But
right, he's sort of low 80s, so that gives the ball a chance to do something.
Flighting it well again, landing it middle and leg, turning hard. The ball played through the leg side down to mid-on for 1 run.
What do you think about the fielders? As I say, their fielding in the first probably 10, 15 overs was a bit, even though they caught their catches, their ground fitting, I thought they gave away 10 or 15 runs in the field.
Yeah, I think sometimes when there's a heap of boundaries being hit, you can get a little bit flat. That's human nature. Boyce again, who does bowl a flat one, it looked to come out of the hand poorly. It was hit hard straight to the man at mid-wicket who's on the boundary. And 1 run again. I don't think he'd be too happy with the way that one came out.
Good thing he's got protection out there, so if he does make a mistake, that's the longest boundary. It's a good end to bowl.
Yep. Boyce now to Lynn. 1 from 2. Lynn uses his feet well. Boyce, good flight. Pitching it well. Lynn trying to drive through the offside. Getting the inside of the bat straight back to the bowler. Loving his flight, Whack. Really liking it.
Pressure's on a slow bowler in this sort of league of cricket.
Catch! Terrific flight again. He's caught him. Loving the flight of Cameron Boyce. He tossed it up. Lynn played an expansive drive. Pitched on a good length, a little bit of bounce and turn. He could do nothing more than chip it straight to the man who was in a catching position at a straight cover. Perfect bowling from Cameron Boyce. We're only just talking about his flight and how much we liked it. Whacker tame. I think we can take a little bit of credit for that.
Well, as I say, that means the batters have got to put all the pace on the ball, and that's what he did. He just pushed at it a little bit too hard. Nice simple catch to short cover. And
what he's finding is with that little bit of extra flight, he's getting a little bit of turn on this wicket that doesn't offer, it hasn't offered much for the quicks tonight in terms of bounce.
We said before, it's just a little bit slower than what you'd expect. I mean, the two of their better bowlers, Harris and Gannon, went the journey today, but Cutting was the one he bowled it just back of a length and then it changed the game. Unfortunately, Evan Gulbis wasn't able to do that, and but he didn't bowl a very good line, to be honest, either.
The length wasn't great, and particularly at his pace, Gulbis. If he's going to be short, he needs to give it everything. 3 for 53 after 7 overs. Dimitri Mascarenhas will bowl his final over. 2 for 23 off his 3. This will be his final over. As he bowls now to Pommersbach, who hits him hard. He's not concerned about the score. Pommersbach, he should have been. I thought it was a catch. It should have been a catch. Shoaib Malik there, the man at deep mid-wicket. He looked like he had it covered, and he shelled another catch. Malik, it's gone for 4. Pommersbach looks like he's just going to play his strokes, but Shoaib Malik is having a nightmare in his last 2 games. He dropped 2 in the last game at the MCG, and he's dropped 1 tonight. That could be a crucial one.
he didn't really move into that. He waited for the ball to come to him, and it sort of dipped.
Mascarenas to be disappointed bowling the Pommersbach. Gets a dot ball, but should have had a wicket. He should have been.
There's two lives.
Should have been 3 for 23.
Two lives got dropped behind.
You can't offer a player like Luke Pommersbach too many lives, because that's the style of game he plays. He's aggressive, goes for his shots, and Shoaib Malik down there kicking the turf as well he should, because that's a big wicket. 4 for 57 is almost game over. Mascarenas to Pommersbach. Probably gives himself room. Pommersbach hits the ball through the offside. Doesn't time it the way he would have liked. They get two. The man at long off had a little bit of work to do. Blizzard, the man there at long off, swoops around and picks up the ball. Two more to the score. 3 for 59.
Scoreboard pressure here. They're having to do some odd things with the batting, having to hit across the line, because we're up to 12.1 required and over now, so that's a lot of pressure on the batters.
Well, as you identified, they're having to make the pace against Boyce and Mascarenas, which is important. Bowling now hits length. There's pace on that. That is an absolute monster.
Hang on, is
Luke Pommersbach.
I think we're going to need a wetsuit for that one.
That is ginormous. Absolutely huge six. Not the right length from Mascarenas. It was fuller than what he'd been offering, and he's gone the journey. Rick Finlay said that there was a six hit before that was a wedge for him. I think he'd have to get his graphite shaft 4-iron out for that one, because that's in excess of 100 metres. Big strike from Pommersbach.
This is a bit of deja vu, because he was dropped behind off Payne, 6, dropped, 6.
And big ones
as
well.
And it's just sailed over Malik's head there, and he's trying to look small and inconspicuous as they look for the ball.
You just need to dig a hole in those circumstances. Taman, you'd be guilty of that. Played how many games for Tas you played?
Oh, just a handful of games.
Good number of games. State selector for, I think you've dropped me a couple of times, which was disappointing. But what was most disappointing is I always got Flossie Faulkner to make the phone call and say, "Buddy, you've been canned. It was never you."
Oh, well, he was chairman of selectors. That's his role. He's paid the big bucks to do those sorts of things.
But your style of game was well suited to T20 cricket.
I think I would have probably been happy to have played this form of the game. So, but you've got to be at the right place at the right time.
And Wacky, tell me if I'm wrong. You pioneered almost the ability to throw with both hands.
Yes, I can throw with both hands. I don't know if I can throw with either hand now, but in those days, yes.
You're only 40 years of age, Wacky. You're doing it nicely, mate.
Oh, geez, you're on your Christmas list now, boy.
But I mean, it is something that we've seen that's quite prominent now. Players, teaching themselves to throw both hands. George Bailey's doing it.
Exactly. I think it's one of those things. That's the sort of skill we're seeing. I know sometimes it doesn't transfer itself to Test cricket, but the more skills you've got, I think the better player you'll become. I mean, we see all these sweeping, the other hand, lap shots. Not that I would recommend that in a Test match against Mitchell Johnson. Otherwise, you'd probably be having a hospital bill. But those sorts of things. But the fielding is the thing that's up incredibly. I mean, Malik aside with that catch, but I mean, all said and done, the fielding is brilliant in this form of the game.
Well, we found a new ball, and Mascarenas comes in now to Pommersbach. He hits the same length. It's gone out to Malik, but it's 6. And in fact, Shoaib Malik has been moved from that post at deep mid-wicket after dropping that catch. Never a good sign that the captain's got some good faith in you.
Ooh,
Evan Gilbert's the man that replaces him at mid-wicket, but again, Mascarenas not quite getting his length right. Pommersbach dispatching him for a hard flat 6.
18 off that over.
Ball, mate,
Still, 19.
Better bowling there from Mascarenas as he's gone full and wide of the off stump, and it's hit very, very placidly after what we've seen throughout the over for a single.
He's got to consider himself a little unlucky. He's had two off him, the same batter. He's got him clubbed him for a couple of 6s. He really should be back in the shed.
3 for 72,
well,
yeah.
It should be 3 for 50, and as you said, the game's almost in the bag.
3 for 72 the score. Mascarenas, 4 overs, completes his spell, 2 for 42. He started the over at 23, 19 off it after having second ball of the over, dropped it deep mid-wicket by Shoaib Malik. He could not find a hole big enough at the moment, Shoaib. He won't want to face his crowd as Boyce comes in now to Pommersbach and bowls a beautiful wrong, and the pitch is on leg stump and goes away from the left-hander. Bought Tim Payne undone, who was wrong-footed and slipped over. It's a good skill to have if you can turn your wrong and big. It's a big chance here. Cameron Boyce bowling now to Pommersbach. A little bit flatter through the air. Pommersbach goes back to that one, hits that so hard, it's gone for 4.
Too short there, I think, Stevesy.
Well, I'm just in shock. I just assumed that was going to be 1 to the sweeper out there at a deep point, and he's timed the ears off that, and it's gone for 4. He's a big, powerful man.
51 off 25.
51 of 25 for Luke Pommersbach. Not a great applause here from the Hurricane supporters. Well fired from Boyce. Pommersbach goes for the big slog sweep. Gets a dot ball for Boyce. But yeah, 51 off 25 and no applause from the Hurricanes crowd. They're not interested in the heat. They have no interest at all.
It's a game of opportunities, and unfortunately we've missed 2 of those, and that's been a bit of a sorry tale for the season.
Boyce in again to Pommers. Well flied. He's shaped up for a reverse sweep. Dimitri Mascarenas, the man there at backward point, saves a certain 4. The reverse lap, we were talking about it in the previous over, and it wasn't something that Tammy, you were keen to see. Maybe in a test match.
Not in a test match. I think in this form of the cricket, you can make them up as you go.
It was well timed by Pommersbach and well executed from Boyce.
Yeah, I don't think it did deter him from giving that ball flight. You said it proved fruitful last over by getting a wicket, so he's still got to do it. So he's still got to catch, what are we, like 130 away?
Yeah, it's still plenty away. Boyce really tossing him up there. Puts a dot on Ben McDermott, the new batter. Flatter ball's bowled him. He's bowled him with a flatter one. I dare say it was a Zuta, top spinner. Looking at the replay, it is shot straight underground. It was definitely short. Ben McDermott's played the right shot. I dare say, though, he's been undone by some Cameron Boyce brilliance. Definitely a top spinner or some sort of zooting delivery.
Certainly shot on there. I'll look to see the pace of that ball. He's low 80s.
Magnificent bowling there. Cameron Boyce, we're looking at it out of the hands. Terrific bowling. That is beautiful stuff, and Cameron Boyce is liking what he's producing tonight.
He could be a match winner here. He's picked up a couple of good wickets.
Rod, just down to you quickly. Tell us about the crowd on Luke Pommersbach's 50 there. They just weren't interested.
Not interested at all. And when Cameron Boyce bowled a good ball, it was a great round of applause. So, yes, they're looking out of that one eye at the moment and seeing it very clearly.
Which is odd because there's a lot of 2 heads in the crowd but only one eye. I'm a Tasmanian. I can make those jokes. We can say that about ourselves. Can't we? Can we not?
We've moved on, surely.
We've got a sense of humour, the Tasmanians.
Boyce, 2 overs, 8 runs, 2 wickets.
Oh,
doing
crucial. He's the man.
Absolutely crucial.
Doing it well, Boyce. I think it was Rod's interview pre-innings. Now, Rod, he did talk about spinning the ball hard, did he not?
He did. He said that he needed to rip it out, and that's what he's doing. And it was a great ball, that last one. It hit middle stump, I think, from here.
It just kept a little bit low as well, Rod. We thought it may have been a zooter of some sort, but out of the hand, it looked like just a traditional leggy that maybe it just kept low. But let's run with some Cameron Boyce brilliance because it was super bowling. The score now 4 for 77.
And Ben Laughlin's coming on.
Ben Laughlin, the new bowler, and
he's a chap who's had a lot of success, and he's been very good for us.
The crowd do like him, and we like him here at Edge Radio as well, which is important, I think.
In the nicest possible way, but yes.
What do you mean? Is there any nicer than liking him? Possibly so. Maybe for after 11 p.m. But Ben Laughlin gets his chance, which is terrific, and he'll certainly take wickets as he bowls now to Pommersbach. Starts with a wide full ball that's squeezed to those 2 men at backward point. We saw that field employed by the Brisbane Heat captain late in their innings to some success. And the Hurricanes learning from that and bringing those 2 men in straight away.
The good thing is he can execute a Yorker, where we haven't seen much of that from the opposition today.
Lachlan again, we can hear the crowd chanting along. Full and wide again, perfect Yorker. Pommersbach can only play that to one of those 2 men on the offside, clogging that hole. Again, perfect execution. The Yorker, it'll take you places. Exactly. It'll make you money.
We've said this before, execution is going to be a big part of this plan here. It's all well and good to have that. If you don't execute it, you could find yourself flat on your face.
Well, what it means is that Pommersbach has to now change his game plan. He probably needs to look to move across the stumps. Lachlan again, he bowls a bouncer. Certainly not expecting it. Tim Payne chases it hard. It's gone directly behind him. If it was a grade 3-4 game, we'd see the backstop and maybe a chance of maybe a chance of a catch, but that's 4. I like the bowling though.
I do too.
I like
He's
the
surprised
bowling.
him there. He's got 2 Yorkers and 1 short ball. He probably wouldn't have been expecting that. Got a little bit of pace off the wicket, and he actually, the shot wasn't a great shot, but it's snuck away for 4. Again, the outfit here is lightning. As you said before, he dabbed a shot there and backward point. 4 runs.
4 for 81. Palmer's back now. 56 off 30 deliveries. Lachlan again to him. Slower ball, full and straight. Palmer's back has hit that hard. I'm not sure that long off or long on will get around to that. They won't. It was again well executed. Palmer's back went deep into his crease and hit the ball straight back past Lachlan. Hit it hard. Gave long off and long on no chance.
We're seeing here the quicker bowlers struggling a little bit. That we've talked about before, taking the pace off the ball. Macarenas and Boyce getting them the rewards.
Palmer's back advances. He's chopped it on. Benny Lachlan has gone wide. Palmer's back charged him. I'm not sure anyone was expecting the charge. Benny Lachlan held his nerve, went wide. Palmer's backs went through with the shot to get an inside edge, and he's bowled him. You'd have to say now.
The man we want.
You'd have to say now at 5 for 85. the Brisbane Heat rider in a fair bit of strife, so much so that Luke Palmer's back wants to join the Hobart Hurricanes team. Maybe we should get him a nice purple hat. But wow. Benny Lachlan, he's a man that makes things happen. He got hit for the 4 over the keeper's head. It was a good delivery. We liked the plan after executing 2 wide Yorkers. Palmer's back had to change his game plan. He went back, got a boundary way. On this instance, he came forward, used his feet, tried to charge him, didn't execute.
Only fair, he's been given 2 lives. Third time.
60 off 32, a really good innings from
He has batted
the circumstances.
He has batted very well, Rick. But in saying that, you make your own luck. Took his opportunity. 60. Batted very well. 5 for 85, and we've got one more ball here, Tammy. So we need to make it special. We're going for the double change.
Where were we, Rick, at this stage?
We're 100 after 10.
100 after 10. So we're 15 to the good. And a lot less wickets.
But in saying that, Ben Cutting and James Hopes are at the crease and both capable of some damage. A slow ball from Ben Lachlan. Ben Dunn comes around. He's not going to make it. He picks it up. If it was backyard cricket, one hand, one bounce, we would have seen James Hopes on his way.
Well, we almost made that happen, didn't we? Almost.
Super bowling from Ben Lachlan. I like the slow ball. It comes out well for him. We're going to double change Katie Bailey. And
but we've picked up 5 wickets. We can't do better.
We've done well.
What a time it is right now at the halfway point of the Brisbane Heat innings. 5 for 86. Brilliant calling once again, of course, from Brett Jeeves and Mr. Michael Tame. And welcome back, Katie Bailey, to the crease, to the box. I like saying the crease. It sounds more appropriate, I think. Looking pretty good here, Katie, for Hobart, isn't it?
Good to be back. That's been a good little breakaway. I must say, those boys they've done well to have us 5 for 86 after 10, especially with the way that Duncan Payne really set up that Hurricanes innings. It's now the bowlers really taking control in this innings. Hurricanes in a great position here.
Brisbane to have any hope of winning this match. The man facing the next delivery, James Hopes, needs to pull something out here at the moment. 1 off 1, Dougie Bollinger coming in from the Church Street end. Brisbane requiring 12.4 off these 10 overs if they want to win this one, as Dougie Bollinger bowls to Hopes, and he gets that one onto the leg side. They'll get a single as it's just fielded inside the rope, and Brisbane Heat move 5 to 87. The crowd has absolutely taken off here this evening. They have gotten involved with all these wickets falling, and the tweets and the phone has absolutely gone off as well. We are getting an amazing amount of texts and tweets. 0427 334 336 hashtag EdgeBBL. We will draw the winners of those fantastic prize packs provided to us by the good people at Blunston at the end of this broadcast. 123 required of 59 here, Brisbane. We have to find the boundary and go over it, as well as Dougie Bollinger comes into Cutting, and he just gets that one onto the onside. They'll take a quick single as it finds the gap. They'll go for 2. Very good running between the wickets there by the Brisbane Heat. And they move to 5 to 87. That's fielded by Blizzard there. That's what they need, Katie. If they can't get those 6 and 4s, they need to find 2 out of 1.
They will, and look, especially as you said with these two at the crease, Cutting and Hopes, you don't want to rest now as the Hurricanes. I think they really still need to be on their toes, be very sharp in the field, in a great position, and I think they've got it under control. But as we said, still two danger players at the crease for the Heat.
Bollinger doing very well here as he continues in bowls to Cutting, who blocks that one, goes slightly behind him. There's a chance for a run out here if he gets it. A direct hit, didn't get it. Ball went behind on the offside, and the other end, Hopes went for the run. It's called back and brilliantly fielded. And a direct hit could have been dangerous there for the Brisbane Heat, but they remain safe, 5 for 89.
You're right about them being the dangerous hitters there, Katie. The Sped Catty, I think, is one of the cleanest hitters in the game at the moment, and I've seen him hit some enormous sixes on TV.
As Bollinger comes in to that man Rick talks about, Ben Cutting, who moves slightly around. That's going to be a wide, is it? Yes, it is. Just went away from him, that one, Dougie, and went away onto the leg side. And a wide called. How many wides have we got now there, Rick, in the game?
3 by the Hurricanes, and value of 8. But of course, one of them went to the boundary for 4 in the Hurricanes innings.
There's no doubt we've definitely seen a trend of some of the top bowlers throughout Australia just really becoming really good batsmen towards the tail end, and obviously something that we've seen work well in their test team as well.
Bollinger continues from the Church Street end to Cutting, who just gets that one onto the offside, and a quick run between the stumps and a flick field there, and doesn't hit the stumps, and a single is taken. 5 for 91, the Brisbane Heat. Saying about Dougie Bollinger, great figures at the moment off his nearly 3 overs. He's got 15 off his 2.4 overs, which is very economical for a fast bowler to have at this point in a 2020 game.
Absolutely, as the guys were saying before, it definitely is a slow bowler. The slow bowlers who seem to be able to slow it up a bit, slow the run rate. Fast bowlers tend to go for a few more runs.
Bollinger continues now to Hopes, who pulls that one away onto the leg side, and they will take a single. Moves them up to 5 for 92. Requiring 118 now to win off the final 9 overs.
It's interesting with the fast bowlers. We've seen how much it's changed in the last few years, and how the tactic of how important it is to bowl that Yorker and change the pace a lot more in the slower ball. Obviously, fast bowling, batsmen only just have to get an edge to it and can go. They use the pace of the ball, so fast bowlers really have had to adapt a bit. And you can see, the good ones really do. Dougie Bollinger's been around for long enough to know what works in this form of the game.
So he continues to move his fielders around, waving the arms up there. I think he's trying out for the Blunston Boogie, perhaps, if they put that up on the screen again, as he continues now to bowl for his final delivery of his 3rd over into Ben Cutting, who straight drives that one onto the offside. They'll only get a single, and moves them now to 5 for 93 at the end of 11, as you can hear the crowd clapping there. And we're waiting to see the attendance here, Katie. We've got the options up on the board of just over 10,000 or under 9,000. What's your guess there? It's a big crowd here this evening.
I'm going to sit in the middle. I'll go for 10,738 here at Blunston Arena, I reckon.
Rod, what do you reckon?
I'm going for the higher number.
All right, we're about to see it revealed here. Well, it's a 10, I can tell you that.
Yes!
Hey, Rod's got it. 10,863 people here at Blunston Arena. Magnificent. And I can tell you right now here on Edge Radio, we've got about 10 times that amount of people listening to us, easily over 100,000. Make that 100 million. The world is loving this coverage, and we're loving bringing it to you here. And we'll thank, of course, Blunston and Cricket Tasmania for making this happen. As good mate of the show of Edge Radio, I will say, Cam Boyce into his 3rd over as he bowls in to Ben Cutting. Gets that one onto the leg side, and a single is taken. And 5 for 94. 2 for 9, Cam Boyce. Katie, he's bowling beautifully this evening.
He absolutely is, and he's got a couple of very important wickets here. So Cam Boyce only brought into the team when Xavier Dowie went out, but he's just playing his role beautifully.
So he continues now to Hopes, who attempts to get that one further onto the leg side. They'll look for 2, and Hope says no, doesn't want to take that one, and it's one of those moments, I think, where risk might come into it a little bit sooner rather than later, perhaps, Katie.
Absolutely. I can imagine. Last 2 shots Ben Cunning's played have been really well struck. just unlucky to hit a fieldsman, so I think he'll go for it.
Boyce continues to Hopes, who gets that one just past Boyce onto the offside, and another single. 115 now required, 114 off 51 balls. That's the crowd. Goes back into a bit of a lull at the moment. It's this huge crowd, just over 10,000 at Blunston Arena. Witnesses Cam Boyce into Hopes, who gets that one onto the offside, and they will take a single. 5-97. Crowd appreciate that one though, Katie.
Absolutely, and it was interesting to see. I mean, obviously the Hurricanes will try and execute this as the Heat attempted to, but really try and get the Heat to have to use that long boundary.
Boyce into Cutting onto the leg side. They'll look for two here as the fielding has to run to it. They're going to get two as well. Beautifully run there between the wickets between Cutting and Hopes. 5-99, and that puts Cutting on to 7 deliveries. And Rick was, of course, saying how well he can hit that ball, and it's going to get to the point now where he's going to have to start hitting it to get those runs as Boyce for the final delivery of his over, and a big sweep onto the offside, and a single is taken. And at the end of the 12th over, that brings up the 100 for the Brisbane Heat, 5 for 100. And a bit of a slow clap there, I think, Katie. More so, I think, for the bowling efforts of Cam Boyce rather than the 100 for the Brisbane Heat.
Absolutely. I think we've got a slightly biased crowd here. I can't see a lot of blue out there. It's just a lot of Hurricane supporters, which is great to see coming out, as you say, for the night match down here in Hobart at Blunston Arena.
Ben Lachlan, another friend of the Station Edge Radio, coming to bowl. Rick, sorry, I think I cut you off there, mate. Sorry.
That's all right. Brisbane Heat took 3 more overs to get to 100 than the Hurricanes did, so that's 15% more time basically in the game. 20 overs.
And Hurricanes were definitely looking at really very settled at this stage as well. So we're getting these runs without having to take risks, where the Heat have already taken risks and looking now that they're going to have to take a lot more if they want to reach that total.
110 of 48 required. It's creeping up, nearly to 3 a ball required rather than even 2 at the moment, as Benny Lachlan getting ready to come in from the Church Street end to Ben Cutting. Cutting sitting on 9 runs at the moment. Lachlan into Cutting, who gets that one onto the leg side and is going to beat a field, and that's 4. A very much needed boundary for the Brisbane Heat, moves into 5 for 104. Beautiful shot by Cutting. He's been trying to do that sometime, and finally got Willow onto the ball, and that's what he needed.
Absolutely. Ben Lachlan looks like he's just overpitched that one a little bit, but he's an extraordinary T2020 bowler, Benny Lachlan, and look, he's got the all-important wicket of Pommerbash there, so I'm sure he'll come back strong.
Lachlan comes into Cutting, who this time gets it onto the offside. They will get a single just behind the wicket, 5 for 105. Of course, the voting at the moment for the All-Stars team for the Big Bash is happening online, and I'm pretty certain that Benny Lachlan very much could get a gig in that All-Stars team. He's had a fantastic series.
A couple of bends from the Hurricanes team, you think, will get a look in on that one. Obviously, the star from earlier today, Ben Dunk, would be a huge chance.
Lachlan into Hopes, who once again just behind the wicket onto the offside, and no run taken. It's a team of bends, the Hurricanes, and so are the Brisbane Heat. I'm liking the fact that such an intelligent and smart name as Ben is being looked at favourably on both sides this evening.
Slightly biased, maybe
like the crowd. We have to be. Come on. Maybe start calling Field and Katie if you like, just to spread it out as Lachlan comes into Hopes, who attempts to sweep that one. He gets behind him onto the leg side, and this should reach the boundary. It's creeping out there slowly, and it does. Just hits the ropes. Bit of a lucky shot there for Hopes. He tried to get that over the rope, but a 4, he'll take it.
Extraordinary field placing there. No one behind square at all.
5 for 109. Brisbane Heats now still requiring 101 to win. A couple of 6s and 4s here.
It's putting a lot of faith, like you're saying, there in Benny Lachlan's bowling. He does do that wide outside on the offside very well, so it'll be interesting to see if he can continue to bowl it there.
Lachlan to Hopes gets that one onto the leg side, and that will be another 4. Second boundary in a row, and only the second boundary to James Hopes as well. 5 for 113 now, so a couple of boundaries here, making the crowd slightly nervous, but it's all about getting those boundaries and 6s.
3 in this over, Ben.
That's exactly what Brisbane will be needing. Ben Lachlan, unusually expensive in this over as he gets ready to bowl his final delivery of the over to Hopes, who once again has a big swing onto the leg side, his third boundary in a row, fourth of the over. And as I just said, an unusually expensive over for Ben Lachlan, and that moves the Brisbane Heat now 5 for 117. A couple of nerves maybe creeping into the boys in purple, Katie.
Could be. It's we'll have a bit of faith in them. One over, and as we said, it really is a batsman's game, 2020. So it does happen, and you sort of have to let those go. You have to give him a lot of credit for, I think, the all-important wicket that he did get earlier. Let a couple go that landed a little full and ended up being full tosses that the Heat definitely took advantage of. So, but have faith that Ben Lachlan will come back strong.
The spin is continuing here for the Hurricanes. Ashab Malik is brought into the attack from the River Street end. We've seen the spin be very effective this evening with Cam Boyce, currently sitting on very handy figures of 2 for 15 after 3 overs. So hopefully, Ashab Malik, who put down a catch, of course, already this evening. Very decent running, though, between the wickets and stopping a couple of boundaries. Unfortunately, though, dropping the catches is not what he wants to do. He comes in now from the river end to Ben Cutting, who goes to attack that one long. It's going to go to the boundary for 6 onto the leg side, just over the fielder's head onto the hill, and not sure if somebody on the hill there caught it. It's getting to that point. Dropped on the hill. Thanks, Rod. Katie, we'll talk about those nerves. That's 3 fours and now a 6 in a row of the last 4 deliveries here.
It is, and that is a fantastic hit by Ben Cutting. There's, as we said, he absolute clean hit of the ball.
Malik now into Ben Cutting, who just gets that one miss hit onto the offside. No run taken. A valuable dot ball. 5 for 123 right now.
It's the long boundary too. It'll be interesting to see how far that one's gone.
20 of 12 balls Ben Cutting is at the moment as he faces Shoaib Malik's spin. Yeah! Oh, a swing and a miss. Call for an appeal. It's called a wide instead. Oh, there was an appeal for a caught behind. Tim Payne not happy. Throws it back to Malik. And you can hear those boos, Katie. The Hobart Hurricanes fans, as you said, are biased.
They are a little bit, but it's good to see Tim Payne sticking up for his bowler there as well and just trying to find out what the story is behind that. It wasn't happy with that call.
Slightly wide there, not too much, as Malik to Cutting, who sweeps that one onto the leg side behind him, and it will get to 4 actually. I thought the fielder was going to get that one and cut it off, but a very fast outfield and another boundary for Cutting, another boundary for the Brisbane Heat. 5 for 132. Brisbane Heat have found some runs.
They have, and these two look, and it's as we mentioned earlier, these two definitely have that ability to do so. But they're going to have to keep playing like this for the rest of the game, these two.
Malik to Cutting just blocks that one and no run taken. 86 required of 39 deliveries now as Malik, not the start he wanted. Expensive over for him. Continues from the river end to Cutting.
Yes.
Once again sweeps that one on to the leg side. It will be fielded this time just in front of the boundary. A single taken. 529. Clap there from Shoaib Malik. He's glad that somebody managed to pick that one up instead of let it go to the rope.
They've got the run rate back to around 13. It was heading up towards 14. So Brisbane aren't out of this.
They're definitely not. It'll be interesting to see how those early wickets that the Hurricanes are able to get will come into play later in the game.
For the final delivery, it was over to James Hopes. Just get that onto leg side. Quickly run between the wickets and thought that could have been close had it been a direct hit, but he gave up on that one. Fielded there. At the end of the 14th over, 5 for 130. 80 runs required of 36, Katie. It's getting a little bit tense here at Blunston Arena.
And as we said, look, with these two at the crease, I think that's definitely, it's not out of the picture, but the way the Hurricanes set their innings up and they had those wickets to play with towards the end, I think that was really important in their innings. I think, look, as I said, when Cutting and Hopes at the crease, you definitely wouldn't put it out of the picture, but there's a lot, they're going to have to take risks to do it, and with 5 down, it makes it a lot more difficult to do that.
Season on the line, of course, winner into the Big Bash finals. Final over I'll be calling for you for this evening as Brett Gees warms his vocal cords up behind me. Dougie Bollinger in though to James Hopes. A swing and a miss straight on to the offside of the wicket, and brilliantly fielded by Tim Payne, and a very valuable dot ball at this point of the match. 13, just over 13, just under 14 I should say, the run rate required now for Brisbane, needing 80 to win. Bollinger takes his time, wipes those hands on those purple pants, and gets ready to get his now long stance over the KFC sign as he approaches the wicket now to bowl for James Hopes. Gets it onto the offside. They will take a single fielded just outside the circle, 5 for 131. The crowd appreciate a single. Rod, how are the Hurricanes looking on their bench? Are they nervous now?
Yes, they are, and there's a lot more concerned looks. I saw Damien Wright chip else a little while ago, so things aren't looking good, but this is not a bad start to this over from Bollinger, so let's hope that he continues in that vein. Damien Wright's giving Mascarenas quite a few instructions. Must be on his fielding, I think.
Yeah, to catch up with him after the game to see what that's about there, Rod, as Bollinger comes in to Cutting, who straight drives that one down onto the offside. They look for 2, they won't get it, they'll get single. You hear the crowd there clapping. Travis Burt, beautifully fielded, and a very valuable single taken. And right now that is about as valuable as gold for the Hobart Hurricanes, almost as valuable as a wicket. And I tell you one thing, I'm going to take the blame for the Hurricanes not getting a wicket. Since I've come up to the box, the wickets have gone silent and the runs have started flowing. So it's a good thing that Brett Jeeves is coming into this seat in just a few balls' time. Dougie Bollinger continues now to James Hopes, who just moves around on the wicket, doesn't get a hold of that properly onto the offside, and a single taken just behind the wicket, and 5 for 133 now. 2 more deliveries left in Doug's over.
If you're going to take the blame, then you have to take the credit for how well Dougie's bowled in this one then.
Yeah, I will. I like that. I think it's, since I brought up the fact that there are lots of bends on the field, it's been a little bit better. So it's power of the bend. That's what it is. Dougie Bollinger 20 off his 3.4. 2 more deliveries left in his spell. So I think he's bowled very well this evening on a night where it's been some of the spin bowlers that certainly have done well. As Bollinger once again into Cutting, who gets a straight drive onto the leg side, but it will be fielded just in front of the media centre here on a single, and you can hear that crowd clapping. That was a very appreciative single. Appreciative? I don't know if that's the right word. Ben Dunk fielding that one. And 76 required from 31. This is the final delivery I'll be calling for you this evening here on Edge Radio 99.3 FM. Mr. Jeeves is going to take you home this evening, and I'm sure he's going to bring this home and bring the wickets back to the Hobart Hurricanes. Send those texts in 0427 334 336 #EdgeBBL during the final 5 overs to let us know what your thoughts are. As Bollinger, final delivery and a big shot there by Hopes, and it's going to go towards the boundary. They'll look for 2. They will get 2. That was onto the offside. Brilliantly run, but a brilliant throw onto the gloves of Tim Payne. At the end of 15, 5 for 136, requiring now 74 off 30 deliveries. I leave you in the capable hands of the legendary Brett Jeeves to take you home this evening. Katie, best of luck for the call. Can the Hurricanes still win this?
Absolutely. So we're looking here, the Heat needing 74 runs from the final 30 balls to win here, or for the Hurricanes to stop that from happening. I'm going to go for the Hurricanes to get the wickets, but in the last 5 overs, I think I'm feeling a little collapse. I think if we get a wicket here, the Heat are going to have to take some risks, and they're going to go for it, obviously. Everything's on the line here in this game, so that's my tip.
This Edge Radio coverage of the Hobart Hurricanes KFC Big Bash League match is brought to you with the assistance of Blunston and Cricket Tasmania.
Welcome back, Edge Radio 99.3. Malik, a bowler, cutting the dancer. Coming down the wicket hard. They'll only be the one. Malik getting that wide of off stump. Cutting going early at him. Good change up from Malik. 74 required. This will go down to the wire. I feel that Vittori holds the bat well. Ryan Harris is capable. The time is now, though. James Hopes really needs to get going. Malik, Hopes dancing. Clever work from Tim Payne as he stumps him. Toughest stumping in the game. Looked as if the ball went between bat and pad, down through what would have been past leg stump. Hopes gave himself room to hit through the offside. Tim Payne would have been blinded for a moment, picked the ball up late and bang, stumped. Well bowled showed Malik. touch of redemption for him. Sharp work from Tim Payne, showing his class with some super glove work. Having a look at the replay, that is absolutely magic stuff. Tim Payne, your wicket. Katie Bailey, that helps.
We know how talented Tim Payne is, but just to be able to do that, and at the time, everyone's getting a little bit nervous. Just wondering, gee, this is in reach for the heat. Just really standing up when the team needed him to. Tim Payne, captain's wicket, I'd say. Great timing.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that was outstanding glove work. If you've got a lesser keeper in there, there's no chance of the stumping. In fact, it's probably buys, and 2 or 3 of them. As I said, very, very tough work to take those when the ball goes between bat and pad and you're blindsided by the batsman's body. Tim Payne equal to the task and pulls off something special. And sometimes in this form of the game, that's what's required to get your team home. James Hope's made a terrific 22 off 15. Ben Cutting 28 off 18. 6 for 137. 73 to win.
See a little bit more spark in the Hurricanes in the field. Just what was called for, I think.
Yeah, the comment was made before. There's been not as many twos, certainly in the heat innings, as there was for the Hurricanes. Some sharp fielding. Malik, first ball. Vittori's gone deep down mid-on. It's going to fall well short. It's come off the toe of the bat. It was a big swipe from Vittori, who's made his intentions clear in his long sleeve vest and shirt and all sorts of gear. He's looking cold, obviously not liking what Hobart's providing tonight.
I think the New Zealander would be used to it, wouldn't you? Out of everyone there, compared to the Queensland boys.
Well, it's not possible to have a long sleeve vest, is it? That'd just be a jumper, I suppose, but my bad. Malik now to Cutting, who goes back, and that's a 6. He has absolutely smashed that Ben Cutting. It was back of length. Cutting's gone back himself, giving himself space and time. Hit the ball to the long boundary again. We saw him to do that to Malik in his previous over. That is a huge hit. Ben Cutting, you just feel that if he gets going or continues to stay going, it could be big trouble for the boys in purple. Malik again, wide.
Wild, mate.
Cutting, slicing that one to the man at sweeping on the offside. Cameron Boyce for 1 run.
35 off 20, Ben Cutting. Looking very good. I don't want to see him score too many more runs, but he's very enjoyable to watch, isn't he, up here?
I'll tell you what he is. He's a very handsome man as well, Ben Cutting, I think. Strong jawline, a little bit of, Captain America about him. Star in his own action hero show. He's just got it happening. Malik now to Vittori. Vittori dances, gets a full toss from Malik. The man at long on comes around. Blizzard picks up. No return of the second for Cutting. Sends Vittori back. And that's the end of the over. 6 for 145 with 65 required of 24 deliveries. You would have to say, Katie, that the Hurricanes would have to really fudge this to give the Heat a chance.
You'd think so. They've managed to get that run rate required of the Heat back up to 16. So that's fantastic for the Hurricanes. Look, without someone like a Jimmy Faulkner in the team, you're probably not going to chase them down in this sort of situation, are you?
Imagine a team of Jimmy Faulkners. Be an interesting change room, no doubt. But geez, there'd be some runs scored. His innings at the Gather in the last couple of one-days ago was extraordinary. You won't see anything like it. In fact, you would have seen something like it if you watched him in India score 100 off.
There's comparisons being made. Which one was better?
I tell you what I don't like is the comparisons to Michael Bevan. No one is as good as Michael Bevan. I just refuse to have that.
It's very different. They play very different games as one-day cricketers, and it's an interesting. I think people are just trying to say he's going to be a very good one-day cricketer.
No question. Beautiful singing voice as well, Michael Bevan. Do you remember his work on the singing show that was commercially aired?
I might have missed that one.
You missed the boat. 6 for 146. Cameron Boyce back into the tack. Flatter ball. Vittori toes it out to the man at mid-wicket. It's Golbus who puts up the long barrier, one knee. You don't see that often in the modern game anymore, particularly as a boundary rider. 1 run scored. Brings Cutting on strike. He'll be hitting to the short side on his leg side. Cameron Boyce, he won't want to offer anything short.
But it will be against the spin.
It will be against the spin, Rick. Very true. He's been very good tonight, Boyce. 1 for 23. No, that was Malik. My bad. He's bowled him. He's bowled him. Everyone's made a bit of a meal of that. Me with the commentary, Cutting with a stroke. Cameron Boyce, not so. It was full. It had some flight. I dare say it was a top spinner. And it's gone straight between bat and pad of the slog sweeping Ben Cutting, who's done it beautifully for his innings, peppered with plenty of sixes. He had to go. We all knew he had to go, and Cameron Boyce likes it.
Doesn't he? You talked about swagger earlier. Well, Cameron Boyce has got a bit about him right now. He's really enjoyed that one. He's bowled beautifully tonight, so he deserves to.
Ben Cutting throws his head back. How many sixes in Cutting's innings there, Rick?
2 and 2 boundaries.
2 sixes, 2 boundaries. He hits the ball as clean as anyone in domestic cricket at the moment. 7 for 147, 63 to win. It looks most unlikely. Ryan Harris, the new batsman, is going to require something remarkable for the Heat to win from here. But this is the beauty of T20 cricket. You best stick around because anything can happen. Although it's unlikely. Cameron Boyce to Ryan Harris. Well flighted delivery, a little bit of flight. Harris can only defend it. Stuck in test match mode, but it was a beautiful delivery. Some good shape for Cameron Boyce. Ball's coming out nicely for him. Boyce to Harris. It's flat. It's hit hard, just wide of the man at cover. Mid-off makes good ground, Travis Burt. He's a fast young man with thick, hairy legs, Travis Burt, and they move fast for him. Like he's carrying a couple of golden retrievers at the bottom of his abdomen. He's just all hair and meat.
His legs as friendly as golden retrievers?
I wouldn't have thought so. Big charge now from Ryan Harris. Hits the ball down a long on. Ben Dunk will do the mopping up there, getting the ball back to Boyce. There'll be 1 run. He does it well, Travis Burt.
I like what Cameron Boyce has done since he's come into this team. Obviously, just getting his chance really when X left, and he's really just stepped up and taken on that role because X played a huge part in this 2020 team.
Vittori on strike now. Ball flighted from Boyce. Vittori's gone long and hard. That might be over. The man at mid-wicket will take a hell of a catch. Gorbis was the man down there. He stuck out 1 mitt, tapped the ball back into play. The crowd appreciates it. Boyce appreciates it. Only the 2.
Save 4 runs, I think.
Save 4. I think if he'd gone for the catch, he was definitely spilling it over the line for 6. So some smart work there from Evan Gorbis, saving 4 runs, 7 for 152, 58 required off just 18 deliveries. Take a bow, young Cameron Boyce. He's bowled his 4 overs, 3 for 21. He's been outstanding tonight. We spoke to him before the start of the Hurricanes bowling innings, and he said he was going to rip it and see what happened. And Katie, I'm going to throw it out there, but I think Cameron Boyce, in terms of his wicket-taking ability, is probably a little bit stronger than Dowie. Dowie's a very good defensive bowler, and we know that Dowie will give you 4. Xavier Dowie, of course, we're talking about, give you 4 overs for less than 26 on most occasions. Cameron Boyce, on a couple of occasions now, has taken 3 wickets, twice here at Bellerive Oval, and last year when he played at Bellerive, he took 3 as well. Of course, he was playing for the Strikers on that occasion. So, genuine wicket-taker, Cameron Boyce. Ben Lachlan now bowling to a hard swing. Ryan Harris, the ball's gone high. Tim Payne's called for it. He's taken the catch. Shoaib Malik was the man under. It was probably a safe play from Tim Payne to say, Shoaib, you know what? Your fielding and your catching smells worse than Brett Jeeves' shirt right now because he's had a long day at work and now he's sitting here next to Katie who's holding her nose.
Oh, that was great by Tim Payne. Just saw that go up early, knew he could make it and made the call. I thought Malik could have made more of an effort to get out of his way once Payne committed to it, but no, they're obviously close teammates and they're happy to take that catch close to each other. I've
got to be honest, if Tim Payne was running at me like that, and from a football perspective, Malik's sitting at a wide half forward, there's no Tim Payne's not getting. I'm hitting with a broad hip and shoulder and putting him on the turf, but probably a smart play given Shoaib Malik's fielding night and his effort the other night as well. He hasn't been great. Tim Payne claims another catch. 8 for 152. Ben Lachlan takes the wicket of Ryan Harris. And the Heat requiring 58 of 17 deliveries. You would have to say, Katie, she's curtains.
I'd like to think so. I think we're safe here. But as I said, I'd really like to see the Hurricanes close it out from here. Bowl them all out.
Lachlan to Vittori, gives himself room. Lachlan up to the challenge, bowls full and wide through to the keeper, Tim Payne. Smart bowling. Vittori shaping to hit the ball hard through the offside. Lachlan onto it, getting the ball through to Tim Payne for a dot ball.
That full and wide delivery is really Benny Laughlin's specialty, isn't he? He does it well, and everyone knows he's going to do it, but...
Lachlan Vittori gives himself room again, swings and misses again. Tim Payne very cheekily has a shot at the stumps, hits. There'll be nothing come from it, and another dot to Ben Lachlan.
I think especially obviously, if Hurricanes win this game, they go into the semi-finals. It'd be fantastic to go into those semi-finals having bowled the heat out, rather than just sort of stumbling in.
Vittori offers something different this time, not in terms of result. A dot ball's recorded. Vittori shaping across to the offside to hit the ball to leg. On the previous 2 occasions he'd gone leg to hit to off. Ben Lachlan really scurrying through now. 3 dots on the trot. Vittori backs away again. He gets a bouncer from Ben Lachlan, and it's a good one. Another dot. Dan Vittori didn't like the call. He's a big man, Dan Vittori. He'd stand at 6'5". And that one going through it just on chest height. So well bowled Ben Lachlan. Slower ball this time. Vittori gets a good piece of it. It's gone over mid-off high, and that'll be 4. Lovely stroke from Dan Vittori. But Owen Shah doing a bit of work down there on the boundary line, fielding that ball, which was good. But Dan Vittori really needed to make the most of those 4 previous deliveries. He offered up dots. Benny Lachlan well bowled, but with more than 50 required of 2 overs, boundaries the order, and dot balls, 4 of them in a row, not getting it done, Katie.
Absolutely not. And obviously, Benny Lachlan bowling very well and doing the outside, wide ball, but just popping in that bouncer. And while Vittori might have been hoping for a no ball, I think he's really got to take advantage of those situations.
Now, Rod, with Gulbis coming back on, what's the feeling of the crowd? He's bowled 1 over for 17. Are they a bit concerned as he runs away from us now?
No, they're not.
He bowls full and wide. Johnny Wells is the man out there, the sweeper. He's got a good arm. There'll only be the one. Sorry to cut you off there, Rod.
You're right. Captain Hurricanes emerged again, and the crowd, especially the younger members of the crowd, very the way things are going now.
So you're suggesting we only see Captain Hurricane when we're winning? Is that...
Certainly has come out at a good time. Good timing.
Good stuff. Thank you for that, Rod. Doing some terrific work. Rod Hunt down there on the boundary line.
See, Gaddon's changed the colour of his shoes, He must have different batting shoes to bowling shoes.
He's gone with a more traditional white-looking boot. Gulbis running away from us to Vittori. It's back of length, really cramping Vittori up for room. And all he could do is get it off the splice of the bat out to deep square leg for 1 run. That's the length that's brought Evan Gulbis undone tonight. Back of length, the better players at the top of the order. Luke Pomersbatch made him pay. Vittori maybe moving around too much, Katie. Probably getting a little bit busy. Just hasn't got the balance to execute. Gulbis now to Gannon. Full and wide off the tail of the bat. They'll beat the man. Backward pointers on the ring. John Wells does the sweeping, and they'll get an easy 2.
As you're saying, especially with the ball at that line of length, if it stayed put, would have been in a great spot for him. But I guess that's the thing with 2020, and the great players sort of predict when to move and when not to, and it must be pretty tough because you're guessing before the ball's even left the hand, aren't you?
8 for 160, 50 required off 9 balls. Gulbis to Gannon. Big swing. They're after the nick, and they're not going to get it. The umpire keeps his arms in his pocket. It must be very cold because the Hurricane boys were most keen on the court behind. The umpire there just not keen at all. The cameraman in front of me, one of the wide, obviously a little bit of money on the heat there. He's done his cash tonight. I couldn't hear a sound on the replay, but it was certainly a big swing. Gulbis again to Gannon. Back of length, it's an even bigger swing. I didn't think it was possible.
Teeing off on that one.
But he's giving it a crack, and I guess it's an opportunity for him to showcase the sponsor's brand on a national coverage, and he's not doing it well.
He needs 7 a ball.
7 a ball. Not possible. Or is it? Gulbis to Gannon. It's a full toss, and he couldn't get it. Gulbis shapes to throw back in true tough fast bowling style.
It's 50 off this last over.
It's a good finish from Gorbis. 8 for 160. 50 required off the last over, and it looks like it's going to be Ben Lachlan to close the innings out for the Hurricanes. And it's been a magnificent effort.
It's
from the
been a
Hurricanes.
great
They've
effort
done well.
by the Hurricanes. You're a competitive guy in this situation with the bat. Do you go for the win? Do you go to score runs to look good, or do you just go to not let the Hurricanes get 10 wickets?
Depends where
are you sitting on this?
I'm always keen on a not out, to be honest. Very much a selfish individual player. 10 not out does wonders for your averages.
I was going to say great for averages.
Benny Lachlan of Vittori goes across to the offside, tries to sweep it to leg. And Tim Payne, this is extraordinary. This is remarkable behaviour from everyone out there. Tim Payne's thrown the ball at the stumps. The bails have been dislodged. The non-strikers run through looking for the single, knowing full well that Tim Payne, to get a dismissal for run out, has to have the ball and the stump in his hand at the one time, and he wasn't able to do it.
Well, he sort of did, but the stump took that much getting out of the ground that he didn't get the run out.
He impaled himself on it.
I think he was there first,
but
he couldn't actually. We'll have a look here on the replay.
That's out. Oh, it's well and truly out. Who's the umpire at square leg? He's I'm not sure he'll umpire another game at this level, whoever it is. That was out, Katie.
Well, I don't think he got the stump out of the ground.
Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't. And Gannon's bat was stuck in the turf before the line. Anyway, Lachlan now to Gannon, who's taken our advice. He's just dabbed one down through third man, and looks like he's playing for the not out. They'll get one. Rod's got the crier for red ink, and fair enough. 8 for 162, 48 required off 4 deliveries. Lachlan now to Dan Vittori. It's a Yorker on leg stump, and Dan Vittori may also be playing for a bit of red ink too, as he blocks that one to the man at cover on the circle when they take another single. Yeah, remarkable scenes there, Katie. You couldn't possibly call that because it was all happening, and
it was a strange ball, but you've done well.
Lachlan now. Gannon gives himself room. It's going to be 4. Thick outside edge. Smart play from young Gannon. He's got no other option realistically to back away and try and heave one over the big Blunston Arena sign that sits atop the southern stand. 8 for 167. The ball was hitting middle stump for sure. Thick outside edge. Tim Payne took a big dive. Bit of backyard classic catches for Tim, and he got nowhere near it. 2 balls remaining in the innings. Gannon 8 off 7, Vittori 11 off 12. Luke Palmer's back earlier in the night, 60 off just 32. He batted well. Keyswetter 22 from 18. He was impressive, and then there were a cluster of wickets through the middle order. Cutting and Hopes had a partnership. Lachlan now to Gannon, backs away again, hits the ball wide of mid-off, and they should get 2, and they do. Dan Vittori running hard on the second, providing Gannon with 2 runs in the score. 2 runs also. And then once Hopes was dismissed, Cutting went soon after hitting Malik for a big 6, and that was pretty much all she wrote. From there on, it's been the Hurricanes taking wickets. The last ball of the game, Lachlan, bouncer, slow ball, it should be a wide, and it's not. That'll be the ball game.
Is that a mercy rule, no wide, do you think?
I think so.
There's no point. Let's just... Fantastic game there by the Hurricanes. Really well set up. Obviously, Tim Payne coming out early and setting his team up, and Dunk just following on, and really from there they just didn't let up, the Hurricanes.
It's certainly shaped well throughout the middle. I loved the fight from Hopes and Cutting. Their partnership was outstanding. But some tight bowling. Benny Lachlan reintroduced. He's finished the game well, and we know that's what he does. But you would have to think that the man of the match tonight, a pretty easy one. Benny Dunk scoring a remarkable 87 off 47 balls, Rick. Let's run with 47 because that sounds good. 87 off 47's a 53, so close enough. Not bad.
Still fairly impressive. I'm still impressed by it.
This is where, as a commentator, we should be taking notes, Katie, and I was relying on you for that. But the Hurricanes come away with a win here, and they'll face the Stars in the semi-final, which will be played at the MCG in the coming days.
A couple of weeks away, I think. I think we're not Not this week. I think it's start of Feb.
Is that right? So there's a break.
Yeah, we've got the international T20s to get through first. They don't run them concurrently, so there's not a split audience. Good move.
I need to read more papers, maybe, so I should be across all that sort of stuff. But the Hurricanes will be most pleased, gives themselves a couple of weeks to prepare. And to be honest, Katie, it hasn't been the best tournament for them. They've shown glimpses. They've looked dead in the water at times. Their batting's provided very little. Their bowling is always going to be their strength, and you would think that once Hilfenhaus is fit and comes back into this team, that further strengthens certainly that power play scenario. We saw Gulbis bowl his one over in that situation tonight that went for 17. I'm not sure he's the man to be bowling in those first 5 overs, but if they get it right, the Hurricanes, they're a serious threat in this tournament.
Absolutely, and look, it's like you've said, I think their bowling's has been their strength, and they've got the ability in their batting lineup, and they did tonight beautifully. Like, to get 209, you're going to be competitive anywhere, and at the MCG against the Stars.
And we're just going to throw down the rod very quickly. He's got Cameron Boyce, who's becoming a regular on Edge Radio. Down to you, Rod.
Cameron Boyce, you're on Edge Radio 99.3 FM. Fantastic bowling performance. Well done.
Thank you, mate. It was good.
You called for it when we interviewed you in the break between innings. You said you were going to rip it out there. There was some clever changes of pace, lots of flight early in the bowling spell. What can you say?
Oh, mate, not much. I'm obviously really happy. Being from Queensland and playing with a lot of those boys. So, I've been thinking about this game for a little while now, and I knew I had to bowl well. So, that's a bit of a pressure release, but I'm certainly happy.
Well done, Cameron, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you, mate. So,
cheers.
Thanks, Rod, and thanks, Cameron Boyce, for his time. We should thank the Hurricanes and Cricket Tasmania for allowing us access to their players tonight, and also the use of it's been great to be here, Katie. It's been a magnificent game of cricket.
It has been a fantastic game of cricket once again. And look, night games at Blunston Arena, they're pretty great. Obviously the light's been put in a few years ago. To get a crowd like we did tonight, I think everyone here really enjoyed themselves. Maybe apart from the Heat team.
Second highest aggregate for a match here at Blunston Arena.
Yep. Terrific work, Rick. We're going to throw back to Rod Hunt, who's with the Hurricanes coach, Damien Wright.
Damien Wright, you're on Edge Radio 99, and you've coached the team into the final.
Thank you very much, mate. Look, absolutely thrilled with the boys they played tonight. We nothing to lose and everything to gain, and we've saved our best game. The momentum's certainly with us going into these finals, which is great.
I thought I saw you looking a bit concerned in the middle overs. I thought I saw you might have even been chewing your nails at one stage.
The Brisbane Heat got some serious players and some really big hitters. So, through the middle period there, I thought Cameron Boyce was just wonderful. Certainly he plays a bit of cricket with them with Queensland, so he knows them inside out. But his bowling effort tonight won us the game.
And what's the strategy now, looking with about a week's break? What are you going to do to keep the boys' minds on the job?
I guess we got a bit of time off, which is nice for us, really. I guess we'll let a few boys together and probably for time and get for this game. That's a campaign that we'll do, mate.
Very much, Damien, and well.
Good on you. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Rod, and Damien Wright for his time. He's been good for the Hurricanes. I think he brings a certain energy and a relaxed nature about him. He's a big personality, and I think he's been terrific for the squad.
Absolutely, yeah. There's nothing, definitely a lot of energy about Righty. And like you've said, look, to be making the finals is a fantastic effort. I think especially from, they've had some games that have been close and maybe they should have got up and won and they haven't. To be able to bounce back from those says a lot about the playing group. And even in 2020, I think, they have been building. So coming against the Stars had a fantastic season, but I think they'll probably lose a couple at around that time of year. I'm guessing, obviously, Test players won't be around. Jackson Bird and Jimmy Faulkner will be gone. I'm not sure if they'll lose any more around there, but look, Hurricanes, if they get a bit of confidence, I think they'll push the Stars at the MCG.
We could pick up George too.
Of course.
He's not going to South Africa, and
yep.
I wonder, would we go with this team?
Who do we drop? You bring George Bailey in. Who do the Hurricanes drop? Shoaib Malik, probably, after his fielding effort.
You bring something to the bowling.
George? No,
not George.
doesn't.
So I almost fell off my seat there. I thought you were talking about George, and I was a little bit confused. But I'm a fairly handy batsman against George's bowling. So no, I'm pleased we're talking about Malik there.
You've got most covered though, Katie. Beautiful hand-eye coordination, but certainly moving forward for the Hurricanes, it shapes well. You get a Bailey back. Love Cameron Boyce in this team. Like I said, he's a wicket-taking spinner. I'm not sure why Boyce and Doherty didn't play together. I think that they'd really complement each other well. And perhaps in the future that's something that we may see here at Blundstone Arena for the Hurricanes. But to wrap up tonight, we've got the Blunston prize pack to give away. We're going to get through some Twitter results. We're going to get Benny and Wakatane back into the seat. Certainly from my perspective, and Katie, I know I speak on behalf of you. Thanks for listening to Edge Radio 99.3, Cricket Taz, the Hurricanes, and Blundstone Arena. Great work.
Yeah, no, it's been a very enjoyable evening. So, thanks, Jeezy. And as you said, I'm sure the boys will be able to wrap this up on Edge Radio for us nicely.
This Edge Radio coverage of the Hobart Hurricane KFC Big Bash League match is brought to you with the assistance of Blundstone and Cricket Tasmania.
And what a fantastic job, Brett Jeeves. And Rod's got someone for us down as manager. Rod, who have you got?
I've got Ben Lachlan down here. Ben, you're on Edge Radio 99.3 FM. Talk us through your emotions during the night.
It was good to finally get the batting to click and get a good total. And then, defended. Pitch played pretty well and they looked all right there for a while. But Boise bowled unbelievable through the centre there and took wickets and kept it tight. So, great result in the end.
Those middle overs of the Hicks innings, it did look like they were a bit of a chance.
Yeah, I bowled a couple of bad ones there, and they got going again. And then Boise came on and took some wickets, and it was fantastic effort from the young fella. He's grabbed his opportunity with both hands.
So you're looking forward to a bit of a break now before the semi-final?
Yeah, 11 days off till the semi, so we'll have a couple of days off and then get back into training, and it'll be good.
Heading off to the beach at all?
I'm back to Brisbane for a couple of days, so I'll probably pop down the coast for a few days.
Sounds nice. Ben Lachlan, you're on Edge Radio 99.3 FM. Thank you very much for talking to us tonight.
Thanks. Cheers.
Rod on fine form there, and great to hear from Benny Lachlan, one of the stars of this competition. Ben, back in the box, going to take you home. Got Michael Tame in here. We've got about 5 minutes to wrap this up. First of all, I will say, Mike, great game. Hurricanes into their second Big Bash League finals in 3 years. Do you give them a bit of a hope? Hang on a sec. Sorry, before I go to Mike, back to Rod. Rod might have Doug the Rug Bollinger.
He's just snuck off to sign a few balls, unfortunately.
He heard me call him Doug the Rug. That's why he sort of ran away from you. Keep us updated there, Rod. If you grab him, we'll throw straight back to you. Can the Hurricanes, do you think, take on the Stars in a couple of weeks' time?
Look, I think if they execute the game plan that they had today...
I'm going to interrupt you there, Michael. Dougie Bollinger's with Rod. Over to you, Rod.
Doug, you the ground.
Yeah, I'm going all right at the moment, mate. That's a good win, and the boys played well, and hopefully we play like that next week and the week after, and it could be a very close game.
I think we've lost Rod there. We'll throw back to Rod if we manage to pick that one up there. Got to have the technical issues at some point. We got to thank you just at the end, I believe. Now, Michael, I'll throw to you with your thoughts. Can they take it up to Melbourne in a couple of weeks?
Oh, look, I think they can match up quite well with the Stars. I think they've got to just not think about the clientele that they have in the Stars lineup, because really it's a 20-20 game and anything can happen in that, as we've seen. But I think if they execute the plan that they went with today, top order batting, those first 6-10 overs where they scored 10 and over, brilliant stuff. That's exactly what they need to do. They played good, good cricket shots, came into their own, and we see that's a platform set up for those guys behind them. So that's exactly what you need. For me, tonight the batting was impressive. They didn't lose wickets in pairs, and they had a batter there who was in the play, taking control when the next one came in. And the fielding. Jeeves and I said that they cut down those twos in the game. Hurricanes batters got twos quite comfortably. You saw that there was no pressure on them to pick up those 2 runs, and in fact they're really walking through for easy singles. Whilst they weren't scoring 4s early on, they picked up the pace and maintained those 2s and 1s throughout the game, which added to their score really well in the long run. So I think if they go with that, their fielding was intensive, and their batting was well executed tonight. The bowling, I think you look at Cameron Boyce. Sorry, Rick, you want to say something?
I was just going to say, I think the policy of the opening pair, much less frenetic than in previous matches, got them off to a really good solid start, took away the risk of losing wickets.
I think it's
in
not
hand.
necessary to play across the line when the field is up. So that's when your better batters go out with good cricket shots. They can pierce the field without the risk and still score runs. And when the field starts to spread, then you start looking about picking up your ones and twos and bad balls, 4 runs, and before you know it, you've scored 7 and over. And I think 160, 170 should be a par target. And they did that tonight, and then with wickets in hand, they could pick up the pace towards the end.
I'm sure that was the basis of their victory tonight, the
No
way those
doubt
openers said about those first 5 or 6 overs.
Not taking nothing away from Cameron Boyce, he picked up wickets at the right time, but that scoreboard pressure, I think, has brought the heat undone. They looked up the scoreboard there, and they were seeing, start off, they got double figures required to win the game, and every time they didn't score double figures in an over, it puts it up to 11, 12, and so on, way we go down the track. He bowled very well though, Cameron Boyce. He flighted the ball well, got the batters to push at the ball, and I think the bowlers that did the best with those bowlers, you either had to be quick, like Cutting, who bowled quite well, sort of brought the total back a bit for the Hurricanes in the mid-overs, or you had to bowl with that just short of a length and a little bit of taste taken off the ball, Macaronis and Boyce, and they proved successful.
Absolutely fantastic victory, of course, of the Hobart Hurricanes this evening. Off to the Big Bash League Finals. They take on the Melbourne Stars in 11 days' time over at the MCG. And, of course, the winner of that match, not only do they make the Big Bash League Final, but a spot in the very lucrative Champions League, which would be a very big coup, not only for the Hurricanes, I think sport in Tasmania as well, because it's not something we've had that represented much on the international stage.
No, what a great incentive. I mean, we've got a number of players on that side who have played in international competitions anyway, so I think that they wouldn't be out of their depth.
Now, going to draw the winners of the competitions. Of course, got 2 Blunston prize packs giveaway. We had an absolute flurry of text messages and tweets, and thank you very much to everybody who sent them all in this evening. I definitely think Brett Jeeves got a lot of fans this evening, and a lot of people appreciated his call. The Twitter one that I'm going to give this to this evening, as I said, we had plenty on the Twitter feed, and very much went off there. We do have, I'm actually going to go to that because I think I've just lost the feed. We'll go to the text message though quickly. Victor, congratulations, you're going to win a Blunston prize pack. Your text message that said, and listen to the rhyming ability of this guy, there once was a game of cricket, Hurricanes were at the wicket, heat off the boil, they've met their foil, the result, I didn't pick it. There you go. Victor, your rhyming ability has won you a Blunston prize pack. Congratulations, my friend. And Dreamboat on Twitter, not just because your name is Dreamboat, but your tweet, once again, not convinced by Malik's commitment, bring back the people's mullet. Rana, if you're listening, the people's mullet, we miss you. And it's been a fantastic evening here on Edge Radio. Thank you very much to everybody listening, to everybody here on the team this evening. Right out there on the boundary, right, if you can still hear me. Thank you very much once again for your contribution this evening.
Thank you very much, Ben.
To Michael Tansey next to me, mate. It's been a pleasure working with you.